Learn the tech, learn the fun, and we're live. Don't be late. Ta-da! Sorry, everyone. I forgot to press go. Hey, Fred. Good to see you here. I forgot to press go. I apologize. So you all missed the song, but it was inspiring and exciting. You know what it was? I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is I got thrown. I got distracted because when I logged in to Zoom for this meeting, oh, hello, that's not what I wanted to do. When I logged into Zoom for this meeting, I saw this prompt right here, new floating reactions. Reactions have a new animation, give it a try. I saw that. I had not seen that before because I never log into the traditional Zoom. And I've been so, oh my goodness. Mike, do that again. Wow. Okay, wait. This is actually somewhat of a big deal. Let me do, oh my goodness. Hold on, everyone. I'm gonna bring my window over here so that you can see what's happening. So this is my Zoom window now. All right. And you can see that when people send animations now, they're not just up in their screen. Look at that.
No, that is not correct. That is not correct.
What's not correct?
If what you just said, I'm sorry, I have to correct you.
Animated.
If we use our standard reactions, they are animated over the whole thing. If we use our own animated reactions, they come on our own window.
Well,
do you see the difference?
Yes, there's David, there's two distinctions here. It's very important. And we learned this week.
Okay, wait a second. Now I'm really confused. So how do I do the fancy one?
Okay, so the animated one that comes up on the left side of the screen is in regular reactions. But the reactions with effects only goes over top of you.
All right, so I've got two different sets of reactions here. I've got send with effect.
Yeah, that one only goes over your video, where reactions will not only go to your top left, which is this side. Let me do that right.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's really sort of strange, actually. Like that seems opposite to me. Send with effect is what I would think would go all over the screen. Right?
You would think, yes, but it's backward.
Wow. Okay, so if I do send with effect, then that just shows up over my screen. But if I do reactions, I'll do hearts. You'll see it's going to go up. It's going to fly up over the whole Zoom window.
Correct. And it also shows you the name of the person in the floaty as well.
It's up in your right corner. Well, there you go. Huh. Okay. Have we tried this? Wait, Zoom.
Yeah, I've been using it all. I've been using it. I've used it 3 or 4 times.
I'm not sure what she's talking about though. Ern, what are you referring to?
It's from it's in the release notes when I quoted it in the thing. So it's like, okay, so if we all chose an emoji and did it at the same time, what would happen? I'm not clear.
Okay, ready? So here we go. So I'm going to say to everyone, wait, let me unspotlight myself. I don't think that worked. I pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
I did. I unspotlit you.
Thank you. Sheesh. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to actually intentionally put us on gallery view for the stream. And now I'm going to ask a question, and everyone, I'm going to tell you what reaction to use, right? So if you are excited about the Zoom Test Kitchen today, everyone give me some applause. Hit that applause reaction in your reactions. Come on, give me some applause, everyone. There it goes. Let's do it again because it didn't really work. Let's everyone give me an applause. Come on. See, okay, there's a big up. See there it was. Now, I don't know if people on YouTube can actually see what we're getting all excited about. No, they can't really? Okay, so this is one of those things that doesn't stream out. So what I saw, you know what? Let's do it again. Hold on. But I'm going to do it in such a way that Zoom can see what's happening. So hold on, let me get rid of this.
And that for everybody on YouTube, David's talking about so YouTube can see it, right?
Yes, so YouTube can see it. All right, so here we are. Here's my gallery. Let me put it over my face so it's not confusing. Here's my gallery. And I'm going to say in a moment, all right, everyone, let's all hit that applause button under React. Give me some claps. Give me some applause, everyone. Oh, there it is. Look at that. So there are a few things that happened there. Now, Ray ruined it because he clicked the wrong one. Ray clicked the animated or the whatever it's called, the animate send with effect, and it was just in his. But when we all clicked the applause, each of ours flew up and we had a big applause, and then it kind of exploded, like the hand exploded into lots of little applauses. All right, let's try another one. This is the entire Zoom test kitchen today. We're just gonna do reactions all day. Okay, if you think that I'm funny, just everyone pretend. If you think that I'm funny, hit the laughing emoji, the hysterical laughing emoji. Come on, everyone. Oh, look at that. He exploded on the screen, and there it goes. Okay. Yep, there's another big one, and his head exploded. Well, there you go. Thank you. Totally forgot about that. There you go.
I have to admit, when John and I were testing this earlier this week with Josh and such, that we did not see the explosion. John, I did not see the explosion. I don't think enough of us were doing it at the same time.
Yeah, we weren't happy enough to explode. We just clapped.
You weren't happy enough.
So I'm not.
And just to, sorry, can I just plug that these buttons are the things that are in the new Stream Deck plugin? All these reactions.
Oh, so that's an easy way to, right. I mean, of course, none of the people that we're actually producing for have Stream Decks, but if we want a quick way to do that, then yes. So wait a second. So I have a question about that. Let me pull up configure Stream Deck. So here we are again. And so let me go to another page. So this is the official Zoom plugin. And so now here's React. So I can pull this in. Now it's going to give me the different reactions. And by default, these are the reactions that do this. These are not what are they called? Animated, what is?
Yeah, that's right. They're not the animated ones, they're the standard ones, but the standard ones have now been given a second degree of life.
Which really just means that they should all be called animated. I mean, aren't they all now kind of the same?
When a Zoom worked out a good naming policy for all its features.
Yeah. So you can select what you want your button to do, and then presumably you could, well, let's actually try this. Hold on a second. So now I'm just going to keep pressing this over and over and over again as fast as I can. Nothing explodes when I press it a million times.
No, because again, it's expecting at least X amount of people.
Well, that's a little different. Like I can't press it any faster.
But you see, this is the point where this is a point where I can tell you something. My hand raised app is now officially a marketplace app on the App Store.
Well,
with a small tweak, I can not only stop people putting their hands up very quickly, I could stop people spamming the other buttons like you just did and kick you instead.
Well, you can't because you're not a co-host. But wait, so what's it called?
It's called the Hands Raised app. It's on private release.
Oh, so I can't see it yet.
I'm quite happy to share it with you all. It's on private release only because we want to get some feedback on what settings are the best so that we can release it to general release with a setting that we know works for most scenarios.
That's exciting. Good for you. That's wonderful.
David, FYI, you're in gallery for YouTube.
Oh, still sorry. I will switch that. Just have to find the thing. Hey, here's a little thing for anyone who's listening. Let me switch this back and then I'll show you what I'm about to complain about. So in the live streaming app, the header up here isn't sticky. And so when I scroll down, it disappears. So anytime I have to, for example, I'm in gallery view. I can't just go up to the top and change it. I have to scroll all the way to the top and then change it. So if you're watching people who made the live streaming app from Zoom, this header should be sticky or whatever the appropriate term, frozen.
No, that's a great term. That's a great idea, and that's a good term.
Sticky?
for it.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Okay. All right. So should we continue playing with the reactions or are we done? I think we might be done.
I think I have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, question.
Yeah.
Lois, how are you?
I'm alive. This is good. So when you all were doing this thing, mine just went up in the corner and sat there. So why wasn't mine doing the flying around thing like yours was?
That's depressing. Were you clicking the right reaction?
Well, I have reactions and I have the lower part and the upper part. I was not clicking the upper part because that's the animated one. So I was clicking like that.
Oh, I see yours coming up.
But it didn't do anything.
Yeah, it did.
No, it just sat there.
Flew across the whole gallery. No, it's
Did not.
yes. I just saw it, Lois.
Well,
Do it again and watch.
I didn't
think-
see it. Why didn't I see it?
Are you
Are
watching?
you in the latest version? Are you in the latest
Yes,
version?
I
then,
am in the
Sneak Tim?
latest version. That's the first thing I went
Okay.
to check while you were talking.
So for those watching, we are all working on 6.5. That is the latest version. So you're in gallery view and you don't see it.
Right. And I'm going to click an exuberance and it just popped up right there.
And I just saw you fly. I just saw it fly over me. That's really
Yep.
interesting.
Have you
I
have
do.
you got something special going on? I mean, I'm just done playing Zoom.
I think they like me better at Zoom. No, I don't have
Just say
anything.
that often enough and I'm going to leave.
No, God forbid. No, I have nothing special over here. Mike, did you?
Everybody else seeing it?
I am seeing, I'm seeing John just did it. Yeah,
Right.
go ahead.
John Drinkwaters go up just now?
Do it again, John. It just turned on. That's it.
Yeah, so check what you're on. Check it that you're on 6.5.
I did, but I will do it again.
And what build number? I'm curious what build number.
Check for updates. You are up to date. You are on 6.5.0, build 57940.
Yeah. And you're in gallery view.
I am.
Huh.
As I usually am.
Okay. What do y'all think that could be about? That's so interesting.
Is there a back end turn it on and turn it off thing? Maybe.
Not
I'm
that I
starting
know
a
of.
hunt for you.
Wait,
Yeah, it very
Arm
well could be that
doesn't
there is a
either.
setting in the client that disables that. But
Erm doesn't see it either. What? Oh my goodness.
all right.
We can't hear you, Erm.
Have we got a sexist feature on Zoom? It's only available to
Oh my
guys.
goodness. All the
Yeah,
men
I
can see it.
know,
All the women
I'm just
can't.
wanting, yeah.
I don't
checking
have
my
it
screen.
either.
See?
What?
All right.
But in my case, I don't have the latest update, so that's my issue.
Well, yeah. I mean, gosh, Tony. Gosh. React. Let's see if there's a setting.
I'm looking now and I haven't found anything so far.
Meeting reactions. I mean, there's so I just jumped into the settings. There's
On the website. I didn't go that far.
no, but I don't think you even have to. I mean, there's really nothing here. Because this is all settings about what I would allow as the host. These aren't settings about what you would experience as a guest. Well, goodness gracious. Is there a setting? No. Is it possible that, like some other things, this is just rolling out, it's a back end thing that's rolling out slowly and maybe it hasn't hit everyone yet?
Why would it hit you and not me?
I don't, we're in different parts of the country?
David, I
Yeah.
might add there's a caveat right by, there's a up caret
if you click on that, maybe she doesn't have it recognizing it. So
No,
she clicks on
the caret next to react is
The
really
hand
about
gestures.
hand gestures. Yeah. And boy, would I recommend turning those off right away, because those.
Yeah, there is a
Especially
setting
if you talk with your
to
hands.
yeah, there's a setting to split the hand gesture from the other gestures as well if you want it in the settings, by the way.
Right. Which I do because I can't find it otherwise. Huh. This is really interesting. It must be. Let me jump to the release notes, because I actually got a couple of different emails this week about release notes. Tony just left and updated. Tony was feeling left out. Tony, were you feeling left out? You left and updated.
You shamed him.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
did.
I was not shamed. I was not shamed.
She wanted
But
to
I
play
did-
with us.
I wanted to play with it.
Yeah.
I wanted to play with it. So I updated.
Let's see.
Let's see what happens when you react with something.
Okay.
Lois,
let's see.
while David is scrolling there, can you, so are you able to see that you do have it on the top left?
There.
Yeah, you do see that when you did the heart, it was up
Yes.
there, right?
It flashed on and stayed put.
But you didn't see that you sent it and it scrolled up on the left side.
Oh, I wasn't using the send one. I was using the reaction one. If I
Right,
send it, then it does the whole thing in my space. Doesn't
Right.
do anything for you, does it?
No,
Free
the
space,
one
yeah.
that we're trying to make sure that you're seeing right now, because I'm seeing Tony just sent one right now. And again, where we're seeing it is on, just to make sure that everybody understands, it's on the left-hand side. So let me do this right for my camera here. So it's going to be this side of the gallery, right? And where Andy and Jonathan's graphics tool that we've seen before, they've usually used the right-hand side. What Zoom has done with the Workplace app now is it's coming up the left-hand side. So it's a little different in that regard. So you'll see John has just did a laughing one that just floated up. So
Yeah,
You
and
did-
I'm not seeing the float. That's the weird part.
but you are seeing that John did it in the top left though.
It flashed up right there.
Okay.
Came up on the left of his screen.
So just
This is weird.
so in the release notes, this is part of the the 6.5 that Lois and the rest of us are all updated to. And if you scroll down, it says enhancements to emoji reactions with collaborative effects and custom design. So that's what we've been playing with. It's the only thing I don't know. It's very interesting. It must be that it's not rolling out yet. But you just said that you're fully updated and you're not getting the new chat experience consistently.
Right. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So in here today, it didn't show up. I hosted a meeting and it did show up. It's just like, I don't know when I'm going to get it and when I don't.
So you have if you pop out your chat, you have the old experience?
Correct.
Really?
Yes.
I'm starting to think that maybe, and again, this is a suggestion. If Lois and Ern, you want to try this, is that going into the actual general section and at the bottom now. And again, you guys are both on Mac. So again, I know in PC world, I'm speaking for PC world, so this may vary. At the bottom there is the clear data. I'm feeling that maybe something during the update.
Let me show people what you're talking about. Really
Clear
good point.
your cookies. Okay, I'll clear
No,
my.
no, it's not cookies.
Yeah, it is.
No.
It says clear local Zoom app data and cookies. That's what it says. I'll do it.
So where this is for people who are watching at home, if you you click on the shield, the green shield in the top right of your Zoom window, if you're in a meeting, and then you open your settings and you go to General, scroll all the way to the bottom, Zoom Apps. Although this is for Zoom Apps.
Yeah.
This is Zoom app data. This is not for the Zoom app itself. This is for Zoom apps. So I don't think that'll make a difference.
Well,
But
it says
here's the
clear the Zoom app.
No, but the Zoom apps, like the live streaming app, like things that you get from the Zoom
Okay.
store, those store data or cookies locally on the device. So that
Right.
I
So
don't
that shouldn't have done anything, and we'll check it out.
that I don't think will do anything, but
Nope.
it's certainly oh, you know what? I just noticed something else that's changed, by the way. Now, meeting window view is not called dual monitor mode anymore. It's called single window or dual window, which actually I think is quite good because monitor also means the physical monitor. So dual window, that I hadn't noticed that before. That's different. I'm just checking to see if there are any settings in here about
David, I'm seeing something in there about, and again, this is PC. Keep scrolling down. Yeah, right there.
yeah, so check in your settings under meetings and webinars. Do you have animate emojis turned on? Yeah. And Lois, do you have?
Yes, yeah, I do. Show
do.
reactions above toolbar and animate emojis. Yeah, I have those on.
Okay. Then
But sorry, was there something I missed? I wasn't in the right spot when you said, am I clearing something? A cache
no,
cookie?
I don't think that's not going to do anything.
Okay,
It's if you have apps, if you have Zoom apps,
okay.
and they've been leaving little messages behind them, and you want to get them all away. Yeah. It's not clearly written, though,
Right.
like many things that I've seen.
Well, right. It's called, I mean, it's
Where did you find the one about the effects,
meetings and webinars.
meetings and webinars? Okay.
And you scroll down almost to the bottom and you'll see reactions.
Okay. I do not want hand gestures to activate reactions.
Right.
I do not want to play a chime when someone does anything. And the only other on-off switch I have is show reactions above toolbar. I do not have animate emojis.
Turn that on, see if that does anything.
Show reactions above toolbar?
Oh wait, you don't have the
I have nothing to do with
animate
animate
emojis?
emojis. Yes, no. Are you on a Windows or Mac?
I'm on a Mac.
That's a Mac.
Yeah.
Aha. Are you a paid account? I'm a paid account, but I'm not a fancy account. Are you a fancy account?
Well, that shouldn't matter. Everyone should have animate emojis in here.
Yeah, Lois, I can confirm I have that for Pro as well.
I'm on a free account and I can confirm I have it.
I think I'm
Well
gonna
then. You have that, yes?
I was doing something else. What do I have?
Do you have the animate emojis option under reactions in your settings? So if you
I
go to
believe
your
I do.
settings, meetings and webinars,
Yeah.
scroll down to reactions.
Yeah, I have that.
Then why don't I?
Wow.
I think I'm going to go into my the Zoom website account and see if I can find something there, and I will just ignore you all for a few minutes. Okay?
Okay. We'll miss you. That's so interesting.
Yeah, when I do mine, it's static on my own screen, but I do see it going by on yours since you're spotlighted at the moment.
Yeah. I just cleared Zoom app data on cookies, but that won't change anything. No, that's not going to change anything because that is about Zoom apps, not the Zoom app. That's about Zoom apps that you might install from the Zoom app marketplace. Sorry, I have a terrible sneeze coming.
Okay, guys, I got another problem. When I go into settings, I go to general, I go to the bottom of the right-hand column, and there's the thing that says more. And it takes me over to to the Zoom website, and it's not there.
If you just go to Zoom, zoom.us, it'll take you right into your.
I know, but I mean, usually from the meeting, you could just click the button and it would open up for you. And that's not there. Is that there for other people?
There's, no, it's not.
It's not there.
No, they removed that.
That's too bad.
Presumably because they want to keep you in the app. Right? They don't want you to. Someone's phone is on. Fred, mute yourself. There
Fred,
you
mute Fred.
go.
Okay.
Yeah. Lois, in your Zoom settings in the Zoom app, the very bottom button says My Account. When you click on that, that takes you into your Zoom app. If that's
No,
what
it
you're
doesn't.
looking for.
No, it does. It
No.
does if you say View Advanced Features. I just found that button.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Did you hear my phone ring?
Yeah.
That's really weird because I had a line through my microphone. It said it was muted.
No, you were not muted, but then you muted yourself.
I muted you, Fred. After 2 rings, I thought that was the code.
All right, because I swear I clicked, I heard my phone ring and I clicked on the mic. Oh, sorry, I probably apologize.
It's
Yeah, no.
probably the Aurora Borealis that's got you distracted.
Yeah.
So wait a second. So there is changes to existing I'm looking at the release notes again. Changes to existing in-meeting and security web portal settings. Features such as animated reactions, nonverbal feedback, gallery view saving and sorting, and stereo audio selection are enabled by default and can be managed directly within the Zoom Workplace app. Their corresponding settings have been removed from the web portal. Animated reactions, nonverbal feedback, yada, yada, yada. In addition, the allow use of end-to-end encryption has been removed from the web portal. They're moving a lot of stuff out of the web portal and into the app, it looks like. And they're saying that animated reactions were also moved into control for those were moved into here. The only place I can see that is under meetings and webinars. I don't see anywhere else to have, and I don't see a lot of control there for that. Huh. Notifications and sounds, no. I don't know. Interesting.
Well, I'll survive without it. It's just annoying when I'm up to date and I'm still not up to snuff.
David, you're gonna have to help me on this one. And I know on the PC side, there is some sort of advanced in the actual, when you get into video related stuff, is there any advanced functionality within the app, Workplace app for video?
There was, but just like she pointed out, those are all those advanced buttons that would bring up extra little windows are gone for us. Do you still have them?
Checking.
So on the video and effects, I don't remember that we actually had them because this is just a scroll. Maybe we had them. I don't remember. But it's just, it scrolls all the way through the different horizontal. Here, I'll show you. Sorry. So this is the settings window right here, and I can click through the different video settings, but it's just a scroll. That's all that is. What Lois was mentioning before is that we used to have in a few different places, as I remember it, an advanced button. You would go to, oh, here's one. In meetings and webinars, there's an advanced.
Advanced video there.
Yep. It is interesting that that's under meetings and webinars and not under video and effects. That's an interesting choice.
There's also one under my account.
Yeah. There is under my account. There's an
Yeah, on the right-hand side, it says view advanced
that-
features,
yeah,
and that
that's-
takes you over to the
these are the website.
website.
It looks to me like the only one that has. Oh no, share screen also has an advanced tab. Screen share frames per second limit. Okay.
David, keep scrolling down there. I'm seeing hardware acceleration.
Yeah, it says hard. There's nothing. This is it. Hardware
that's it?
acceleration for video sharing. That's the only option.
Right. And that was in which section for you?
Share.
Share screen.
Or share screen. Okay.
Recording also has an advanced, which gives you the option to record separate participant file, audio files, keep unconverted recording files for troubleshooting, and optimize for third-party video editors.
Yeah, if you do use a third-party editor like a DaVinci Resolve or such, definitely have that turned on.
Yep, audio has an advanced. Yeah, there's still a bunch of advanced tabs here, but video does not have one.
So they moved it from there over to meetings and webinars now.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Hey, here's that auto call thing, by the way. I just found that. Auto call. Automatically receive a call when a scheduled meeting starts. I'll turn that on.
Where are you?
I'm under
Audio?
general.
Are you in audio?
No, I'm in general.
Ah, sorry, missed you.
No, you're good. All right, so we have a couple of dilemmas here that we haven't quite figured out. So Lois and are both on the same build. Neither of them have the fancy reactions that come up over the whole screen like Muddy's just did for me.
Mm-hmm.
Lois doesn't even have, under meetings and webinar, under the settings, she doesn't even have the animate emojis option under the reactions section.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have the new meeting chat experience in this meeting.
What about Tony? Was he like us?
So Tony, you just updated. What do you now have everything?
Yes, I do. Everything seems to be working.
Oh, look at that.
David, the only other thought that is coming to me, and again, this is from my PC experience, and again, I don't know on the Mac side, but is everybody up to date with their Mac OS?
You think that would?
Also, what processor does Lois have? Is she Intel or
Hold on, let me open the
That's a
little
good
window.
question.
It's about this Mac, and it says Retina 5K, 27-inch, 2020 processor, 3.3 megahertz, 6-core Intel Core i5.
That could be it.
What?
That could be it. You're on an Intel processor, not an Apple Silicon processor. That's great call, Andy. That could be it.
Is anyone here on a laptop computer?
Well, it doesn't matter if it's a laptop. It matters what processor is inside. What's the silicon inside? Is it Intel or is it Apple M series? There are a number of things that are, like, for example, in Ecamm, there are a number of things that are only available. They will only work if you're on an Apple Silicon device. If you're on an Intel Mac, they won't work. So that could be it.
I guess I'll just be second class here.
Is on, no, but Erm's on an M1. Erm's on an M1 and she doesn't have it either. So,
Right, but am I reading correctly? Your OS is older?
Well, I think I'm only one update behind.
It's Sequoia. That's the latest, isn't it?
I'm on
Yeah, but
15.4.1 and there's an update available to 15.5. I don't know how many updates are in between. Sorry, that's an assumption on my part, but I keep it pretty up to date. I don't know how many I've missed, but whatever.
David, does that matter? I go to you for that.
I don't know. I'm on 15.5. I just checked. But
I have the same as Erm, and it's working for me.
you do. Gosh.
I have 15.4.1 also.
I know I
Hey,
have the
David,
same as you, Lois.
I would also argue maybe that the clear the cookies and cache or whatever does actually pertain to the Zoom workplace app. But I'm wondering if it's because she's in the meeting. If she would leave and join the meeting again after she's done that, that might change things too.
Yeah, so do that again, Muddy, so we make sure that we understand, because again, the language in the app is not clear. So do that again.
Wait, that was Andy.
That was me.
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
just wondering. I'm just wondering because it does say Zoom app if it's not talking about the workplace app, but
No, it says Zoom
because she's
apps.
doing that in the settings, if that doesn't take place until she actually changes or joins and leaves the meeting.
Bye all, I'll be back.
No, but it says Zoom apps, plural. So
I think it's a language. I think it's a language thing. I think it pertains to the app you're in, but I could be wrong.
Again, we've got to take into consideration too that they're officially classifying workplace as an app too.
Just as a note on my free one, when I go to reactions, the top row says send with effect, and the middle one says reactions, and then I have another row of like, I don't know, they're like emojis or something, and then you have the raise hand and be right back. The reactions are static on my screen, except for the waving hand one, but when it goes across your screen, I see it floating up. But if I use one of the ones with the effect, then it does that whole thing across there, which is what I would expect it to do.
I'm back. Does everybody want to give me, wonderful stuff? And let's see if I can see it.
So just to hold on one second, Lois. So there we got a couple that just went up, and she's not seeing it. Yes. So the top row that says animated reactions, those are not actually the new animated ones. That's animated within your window. So they float up just in your window. If you do just the regular reactions, those now trigger the new. Tamara just sent one, Frank just sent one, Lois just sent one, Ray just sent one, that Tony just sent one. They trigger the new thing that it shows up in the top right of your screen, and you get this floaty thing with the name. And if a whole bunch of people do it at the same time, then it will trigger it'll explode, and you'll get a whole bunch of, I don't know, happy heart guts all over your screen.
For you, David, not for me.
I'm just
out, I updated, I came back.
I'm describing the experience as it is supposed to be understood. Just to clarify so the clearing your cache thing, there's another place in here in the settings that refers to Zoom apps, and that is the leave experience. And in both of these places, it is, and maybe it's just wrong, but the helper text says some Zoom apps may store data and store cookies locally on this device until manually cleared by you. Zoom lets you manage these settings to free up space and show you when it was last cleared. So I read that as referring to Zoom apps, not to the Zoom app, but I could be wrong. So we still have these lingering issues for and for Lois, which is really strange. Lois, before someone else had their hand up before you, I'm sorry. Was it Muddy? Did you throw your hand up before? No? Okay. Go ahead, Lois.
So if we're done throwing our hearts around, I have a separate question. So I will wait until you are done throwing your hearts around.
Well, it's a little frustrating that we can't figure this out for you. I feel badly about that.
Oh, I think I found the setting for it.
Really?
And I just flipped it, and now I don't see him, and I flip it back on, and I do see him.
No, you didn't.
Where is it? Where is it?
Yep.
What is it?
Okay, so it's under meetings and webinars.
Are you in the back end?
Nope, this is the Zoom client settings, right? So I click the up arrow next to video, go to video settings. On the left-hand side, go down to meetings and webinars. And the top of that section says join experience. But if you keep scrolling down almost to the very bottom, there's a section that says reactions.
Right. This we played
And
with already.
under
You have-
reactions, the second option that says animate emojis.
You missed the part that mine doesn't say that. Everybody else has that. I don't have that.
And you're updated to the most recent one?
Yes, I am.
So
Yeah.
you don't have a section that says reactions at all?
No,
I-
she
I
does.
have reactions. I don't have animate emojis.
But does have animate emojis. Hers is turned on, and she's still not getting the animated reaction.
So for me, it definitely changed
Mhm.
the experience. When I turned it on, I mean, it was on, which is why I was seeing them. But when I toggle this off, so I'll just squeak this corner of my screen over here so you can see it. I'm seeing them float up on the screen right now, and I have animate emojis turned on.
So yes, wait. Let me bring this over here so people can see. Bear with me for a second.
Can you just spotlight him? That would work.
Well, here I've got it up. So I just turned off, as he suggested, animate emojis, and so now if I click an emoji, you will see it on my screen, which is right here, but you won't see it float up all over the place. So I'm going to choose react. I'll choose a heart, and so it went up in my screen right there, but it did not float up. Now I'm going to come back in. I'm going to turn animate emojis back on, and I'll do it again. And there it goes.
Yep, I
There's
have the
my-
same experience.
So yeah, so that's definitely the thing, which again, I just want to point out, like, well, it says here send with effect. That's not animate, but okay.
What I would do is actually toggle it off for you and toggle it back on again and see if that changes anything.
I'm just
know what's the
noticing
weird-
that these settings for me are different in different places. So when I pop the settings up from the Zoom meeting control bar, and I go to meetings and webinars, I don't have all the detailed reactions options in that setting. So all I have is, I can take a screenshot and send you, I have one option, which is to show reactions above toolbar. So
you don't see animate. I thought you said before that you saw animate emojis.
I did in a different place. And that's when I pop up my Zoom Workplace app. And I also can't get to, oh, here we go. Yeah. When I pop up the app and go to settings, then it's there.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
How
Are you on a Mac?
Yes. Yeah, I'm on a Mac.
Are you joining through Ecamm for Zoom or something?
Yes, I am. Does that make a difference?
No. Yeah, that makes a complete difference. That's
Oh, I'm
entirely different.
Geez,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
sorry.
So right. These changes are not in the API yet. So Ecamm for Zoom is on the old API. So if that's why, it's so funny. Thank you. This is great. No. This is fantastic, Erm. So when I do Zoom Test Kitchen, I never join through Ecamm for Zoom so that I can be on the latest Zoom update. So if you join from your Zoom client and then just use the virtual camera to get in, then you will see all of this. Absolutely. Now that still doesn't solve the problem for you, Lois.
I am ready to move on. I will accept your thing that my computer is second class and isn't going to ever do it unless it gets upgraded, which I don't plan to do anytime soon. I'm happy. It's fine.
I'm
Go
sorry.
watch the YouTube if I want to see all that fluffy stuff.
Yeah. It may be that. Frank, go ahead. Hi, Frank, by the way. Good to see you.
Hello. I'm not willing to accept that this is a limitation of CPU because it's emojis are trivial for CPU rendering. I'm going to share my screen for a second, and then we can move on because I know Lois is getting bored of this. But is that the right screen? Yeah, that's the right screen. In your account administration, there's two places where emojis can be controlled. If you go to the Zoom web portal. So first is the account settings for the entire global account. I would just go, if I were you, and check if you're allowed to use chat emojis, custom emojis, in-meeting emojis, meeting reactions, I'd make sure all of this is on globally. Then I would go to my personal account settings and make sure it's on there, because that will impact how the app presents options to you.
Where
End
is
of
the
sermon.
personal account settings? I see your.
At the very top. So
Okay.
if you scroll all the way up, it says profile, meetings, settings.
All
And
right.
you would do the same thing. But that's where I would look first.
Thank you. I will go and do that in a little while.
But do me a favor, Lois, do it during this meeting, because it's really bugging me that we weren't able to figure this out with you.
Okay, if someone else has a question, why don't you deal with theirs while I do that? Because then I do have a question, okay?
All right.
I do agree, if you change those settings, Lois, you may have to leave the meeting and re-enter the meeting or stop the app and restart the app for them to show up.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times over the past couple of years I have left the meeting to test something to come back to? Yeah,
It's the Zoom Test Kitchen. We do that here.
We do
right.
that here. That's right. Okay. So
And we let you back each time, Lois.
thank you, Ray.
Right. And yes, the new meeting chat experience will also not be in eCam for Zoom. That also, these are things that eventually it will be. Eventually they'll update it, but right now it's not available in the SDK. So
question on that, David, how, besides being part of this fabulous group, would I know that? Like, did I miss something? Because I wouldn't intuitively know that, oh, if I'm coming in through eCam or starting a meeting, I'm SOL on these new features. Is that clearly stated somewhere, or you just know because you know?
No, there's a special voice that whispers at 3 a.m. UTC for 5 seconds, and if you're not awake, you miss it.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
David.
But it's
Maybe-
eCam that should tell you. It's not up to Zoom to talk about everything that you could possibly use.
Hey,
don't know.
David,
Ecamp's
it
not
might,
going
it
to
might
tell
be
you their
worth
limitations.
it might be worth discussing the concept of different clients. Like, there's lots of clients for Zoom.
yeah.
David,
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad idea for us to dive into that a little bit, especially for the community.
I'm not sure on the best way to do that, but I'll get us started, and then someone else can.
Right, because again, don't forget, Mimo Live has its own, vMix has its own, eCam has its own, and that's not including the latest versions of Zoom proprietary, aka their workplace app ones.
So what's happening basically is Zoom makes these new features, then the companies that have Zoom clients like eCam have to evaluate them, test them, and then decide if they're going to implement them. So it's on eCam to give you these new features. It's not Zoom's fault.
Thank you.
Absolutely not. And I'm trying to find right now the release notes for eCam. They will usually say, although I can't find it recently, they usually say, here we go. So for example, in January of this past year, they posted an update. They've done one since then, but this is the first one I found. And in the release notes for eCam, I can bring you over to them. It says what's new in 4.4b3, and you can see, I can't zoom in, but there we go. It says Zoom Meeting SDK updated to 6.3.5. There are actually a number of things that you can't do in some of these third-party clients where they use the Zoom API or again, I don't really know what I'm talking about. They use the Zoom SDK within their own app. For example, in eCam for Zoom, you don't have access to Zoom apps at all. The option just isn't there. And now that's not eCam's fault. That's because Zoom doesn't provide that. That's not in their SDK. But the new chat experience, that will probably just, that and the emojis, that will probably just be when they update to the latest SDK, then we'll get those things. Yeah, go ahead, Erm.
Sorry, it's a unrelated question, but I just noticed for the first time when I pop up my audio settings that above now, maybe you probably already know this, it says view people who can unmute you. And I click on it and there's Zoom Test Kitchen and then another recurring meeting that I attend. And my question is, what is that setting, which I know I've seen it in in my account settings, but I've played with it and I can't really figure out, like, if I'm host or co-host and everybody's muted, you can just, ask them to unmute. So I don't know what the difference is in
So-
this new thing that I see. What is the difference?
I can answer that one. Thank
Wait,
God,
hold
I
on.
can answer something.
Lois, hold on one second, just because John has his hand up. Go ahead, John.
No. I defer to Lois's explanation. It's going to be far
Lois,
better than
take it
mine.
away.
So that whole thing is when you went into the first time you went into the Zoom test kitchen, you were asked, will you permit them to unmute you or mute you or whatever it is? And you said yes. And so this is a place where you can change your mind. You can say, I don't think I trust them anymore. Take that off. And so it has to do with what other people can do to you, not what you can do to other people.
And that was an excellent explanation.
Didn't
When you-
JFK say that?
I was just going to say that.
And Ermi
You
myself.
took it. I knew somebody would go for it. Thanks, Frank.
So when you create a meeting, in the extra settings, not in the ones that you see, but the ones you can bring up, you can actually set that option for your meeting. So you have the ability to unmute other people. And then when they join your meeting, they will be asked if they will give you permission. And if they say yes, then they will be in that list. You'll be in that list to unmute them. And any meetings that you create, once you're got on that list for a person, any meetings that you create, you automatically inherit that skill if you ask for it in the meeting. Once you've asked them once and they've said yes, the system will not ask them again. It will just give you that power.
And if they say no, they get asked every time they come into your meeting until finally they give in and say yes, or they stop coming to your meeting.
Okay. And if I have that toggled off, because right now it is toggled on. So if I had that toggled off and I was hosting a meeting and I had everybody muted and then I wanted them to unmute, they're still, when I hit ask, they're still going to get that ask to unmute prompt when I do it, right?
The ask to
When I-
unmute is automatic.
Yes, I got it.
It's the reason I use that is I have some folks in a couple of the meetings that come on a phone or an iPad. They don't understand what's going on. It's really tough for them. So we've just gotten to the point where I and the co-host just turn them on and turn them off. We play secretary basically.
Real quick, just going back to the SDK thing and the client thing, or the app thing, client, whatever you want to call it. So Ecamm, vMix, Mimo, they all are built on the SDK. They're all using the SDK, along with all of the liminal apps, Tiles, OSC, ISO, all of them are using the same thing. According to Zoom, as of right now, the latest SDK version that's out is 6.4.10. And according to Ecamm, their latest update, 4.4.5, which was on June 4th, they updated to the latest, 6.4.10. So right now, they are on the latest SDK. And this new stuff, which just came out, is obviously not included because it's back from the beginning of, let's see, the SDK came out on May 21st. So anything that we got in the vanilla client after May 21st is not going to be available to anyone else in any other client, including Zoom's own alternate clients, ISO, OSC, Tiles, things like that.
Hello, I'm back.
You're back.
You want to get excited and see if I can see it?
Well, what did you do?
I left and I went and I changed settings in my thing, but I don't think hasn't done anything. Okay, thank you for giving me hearts.
Sorry.
Lois, there is one ultimate option.
Uh-oh.
Buy a new computer?
No. There is a function in Zoom called resync. You have to grovel to Zoom support directly to get it. And what they do is they effectively clear your machine out and update all the settings remotely. So all your accounts get reset. Now, I had the problem when I don't know, you probably can't remember because it wasn't that fun, but there's a piece of app in the back end that allows you to turn off major features, so you can simplify the Zoom app for people. And I didn't have that option at all, so they had to resync my account, and then all these new options just appeared out of thin air.
That sounds really scary.
It
And
does.
I think the thing that I would rather do is, when I'm not in this meeting, is simply delete the Zoom app from my computer and go and install a new one.
Don't do that.
Okay, Frank, why not?
There's a difference between deleting the app and uninstalling the app. If you just delete the app, you're going to leave fragments of the app behind. On a Mac, Zoom app has a built-in uninstaller.
Oh.
You want to do it through the Zoom app. You don't want to just go to your operating system and drag it to the trash.
I see it. It's in the pull-down menu, uninstall Zoom Workplace. Okay. Thank you, Frank, for reminding me that uninstall is better.
No problem.
There is an even deeper version, and I can't remember what it's called now.
Clean Zoom.
Clean.
But that's only for
Yes.
That's only for Windows. It's an exe file.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you can't use that one. Anyway, you don't like dramatic answers.
It's
so
already built
that's
into
okay.
the Mac. What both of those do is it cleans the cache and the cookies that the Zoom app uses in the operating system. Quite often, Zoom and all applications can have files that get corrupted, and these special files have the settings for how you want your preferences and your different settings in the Zoom app to work. And if one of them gets corrupted, then Zoom may not function correctly. So by uninstalling these cookies and cache and reinstalling, you start with a brand new installation with uncorrupted cache or cookies or whatever the case may be.
When they update the Zoom client, is that the same thing?
No. So what happens is those cookies and cache typically are untouched by an uninstallation or a deletion. They remain. So if you reinstall Zoom, it remembers your settings, unless you go to the trouble of actually on a Mac uninstalling it, or on Windows using Clean Zoom exe. Then it gets rid of all these special files that know your settings. But the reason you get rid of these files is sometimes these settings are corrupted, and you'll never be able to fix Zoom until you actually get rid of these special files.
So I assume that one of those specials files is the history of which meetings I've gone to. I love that history thing. It's the last 10 places you've gone. You just go and you click on it.
It's drastic. I mean,
So, the question-
deleting all the cookies and cache means you're going to have to reset Zoom up, and there's a lot of settings you might have to deal with.
So here's my question for me and for some friends of mine. I love that history. Is there any way to export it so I can have it as a separate document?
I mean, it's in the Zoom dashboard if you have the Zoom dashboard, but I don't know if you have the Zoom dashboard on Pro accounts, but I don't know. It's probably a P list, and it's very complicated. You'd have to figure out how to read a P list file, which is a special data point on a Mac. I don't know how to do it anyways.
I'll take that as a no.
Would be nice if you could download. I'm looking at my dashboard now to see if I can access it, and I see I see meetings, but there is no way to export anything.
One of my
Even if you take a screenshot, it doesn't give you the numbers, does it? It doesn't have the numbers, does it?
It has the number of participants.
So there's the idea of reports, Lois.
Uh-huh.
If you go into the reports section as an admin, you can export a CSV file of some certain things.
I'm not sure that's available on Pro. I've never seen that.
I don't know then. Unfortunately, my knowledge is all based on Enterprise, but my complaint with Zoom is I don't think they let you go backwards in history enough. Quite often it's 3 months or a year, depending on what topic in the reports you're looking for, and sometimes you need things from before that, and they don't want to keep that data for that long. I guess it costs them too much money.
Hey, Roland was asking earlier about polls and co-hosts. When will Zoom give more power to co-hosts when it comes to polls? Roland, you're here, right? Are you able to unmute? Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what controls specifically you'd like to have access to. I don't know if you're able to unmute. Oh, we just got the hand raised app. All right. I'm doing it right now. I'm testing with Ecamm. It may send a recording request. Yes, it did. Approve. All right.
Right. So David, with the co-host, can edit or assist with the polls. So for example, once the host has created the poll, the only person that can edit or even add a question during the meeting is the host. And sometimes sometimes you just want somebody to help. So everything basically is either you try and prepare the poll questions before, or the host themselves would have to edit the poll questions and add the questions. So it's just something that I think it would be nice if the co-host could actually be managing that, releasing them, editing, picking them up, So for example, persons are having a meeting and they want to do a quick poll and they just want persons to do it. It has to be the host that has to create the poll. The co-host can't assist. So you can't even have one person assisting you with it. It's everything is up on the host. So that's what I'm asking. Is something that I think Zoom should look at, just allowing somebody else to, just like how the co-host can spotlight, you can set up the co-host to spotlight, mute, and do other things. I'm not seeing why we can't open it up to have the co-host also assisting with polls and quizzes.
Yeah. It's a good question. I just opened polls and there's no way for me to, ask a co-host to help or share it with co-hosts. It looks like I'm the only one with access to this.
The only thing that I can do from a co-host side, David, is I see the polls. So you've got 4 in there right now. And I can do display questions in random order or show one question at a time.
Can you launch the poll?
Yes.
Oh. So as long as the poll is created ahead of time, can you edit the poll if you click on the 3 dots?
No.
Oh, so that's what that's the functionality right there.
Can the host edit the poll? I thought the polls had to be set up ahead of time.
No, I can. Oops, sorry about that. I can edit. I have edit the post, edit the poll right here, and it actually allows me to do it right
on the fly, right? So the host can do it, but you can't delegate it to somebody to assist with it.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good call. That would be a nice thing to have. Yeah. It would be. Incidentally, John, this is what I got when I went to the marketplace. I'm not sure if it's email specific.
Me too.
So,
okay, I'll look at that.
I did just notice something else though in my client. Actually, let me bring this down so I can show it to you. This is I've never seen this before. So when I go to more, I now have something that says start billable hours.
Yeah, that's a story of warning to app developers like me. There were a number of apps developed by app developers that allowed you to track the amount of time that people were talking and communicating and running meetings. All those are APIs available on the system. And Zoom found that actually it was a really good feature, so they've now put it into the general app and put all those app developers out of business, in a way.
So when I click on this, literally nothing happens. There we go. Start now, start from beginning of meeting. I'll start now. Assign billable hours to a meeting participant. After the meeting ends, a billable report will be generated and linked to the selected participant. All right, I'll just do it to myself. I'll do it to my OSC machine. Assign now. Billable hours tracking is now enabled and assigned to your contact TTG Productions. Okay, so now what happens? I guess
David,
That's
notice
only for the
beside,
host, right?
see, take a look beside original sound for music now. You see
What?
the little clock? You see the little clock? 21, 22,
Oh,
23.
that's cool.
Oh, well, look at that.
And now again, if all of a sudden there's a pause where you're not at that particular point, you're not talking about something that's billable, you can now pause it there as well.
So I just paused it. I'll start it again.
So you stop talking about X topic that is billable, you can now go in there and pause. This is very familiar in the IT world. You have this pause and start.
And here are my
Pause.
view billing details.
I assume this is only for the host to use, correct? I mean, I don't have it. It doesn't mean anything. Other people could have it, but does anybody else have that in their 3 dots?
So this is just to,
Yep.
You do have it?
Again, start billable hours as a co-host. I do not. Not in my more section.
So I've got, this is really interesting. So if I click on this and I go to, it looks like this is part of the timer app. Was there a timer up here beforehand? I don't even know why.
Now, if you enabled the timer app, you'd have to enable that in your client, in your workplace app. Because there it is there. You just brought it up.
Right, but I don't want that. What I want is
Now you're in the marketplace.
No, I know. I want live streaming. Okay. Yeah, open. Fine. Okay. So, but up here, so if I click on the little doohickey, then I can click on billable hours and I get pause billable hours or view billing details. So I click on view billing details. Here are the billing details that you can see. It's for 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Bill 2, this is the client that I just said. I can give them a client code. Billing.
Again, this is good for contractors and in the IT world as well as the consultant world. If you're on the clock and you pay X amount per hour, this is how they bill it.
I needed this last week.
John explained in the chat.
Say that again, Lois.
John explained in the chat.
Right. It's not, no, it's built in, exactly. I wonder what happens though after, so let me, so you interestingly, you can't stop it. You can pause it, or
Stopping it officially only stops once the meeting is finished.
Yeah. Yeah. That's sort of an interesting choice, given that you can start it whenever you want. I don't know. That's just, it's interesting. So, and once there's nothing, this button down here becomes absolutely pointless.
And that makes sense, and because it saves them from having.
No, it doesn't actually.
It off.
Sorry. No, it's not pointless actually. Watch what happens when I click it. Now it's going, it turned green, and now it stopped, it turned red. So this is actually, clicking this pauses or resumes the billing. So I'm curious about what happens. I'm curious what happens after the meeting. Well, I'll share with you next week. Like, does a bill get sent? Or is this just, presumably this is just a way to track time?
Yeah, it says it was going to send it to the person you chose.
Right, but like I didn't get to put in what my hourly rate is or anything like that. So I'm not sure how it can.
20 hours.
David, chances are in a normal situation, if you're an IT consultant, that's already predetermined before you're already going to the meeting.
So this just on the hours?
So this is basically just a report, very small, but it's just a report. Okay, I'm officially billing you X amount of time because during our whole 2-hour meeting, maybe an hour and 10 minutes was billable because the other time was me waiting for the meeting to start. So I'm not going to bill you for that. Or we're just chit chatting after we were finished talking. So I'm pausing it during that situation. Again, if you're a consultant, you could see a huge benefit of using.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, it'll be curious to see what the experience after this, is done looks like.
When
But-
you got to choose the person, you are choosing the person who is the billing person, not the client that you're billing. Is that right?
It's who in this meeting is my client.
But it doesn't say it's going to send it to the client. It's going to send it to
It's
you.
going to send anything. Right.
It's going to send you a report, right?
I don't even know. And now that I'm in it, I can't stop it to start it again. I also can't change now. So if I can't keep a meeting open and have different clients come in and then start and stop billing for each of them. I have to stop the meeting, presumably, and then start a new one to be able to do this. It's new, so it's very limited, but it's an interesting. But now I can't stop it. I don't like that this actually toggles it, but it's very not obvious that I'm taught. Like I clicked it 4 times before trying to figure out if it does anything, and I couldn't tell what it did. But
But it says right below it. It's got the words.
I know, but I'm not paying attention.
Ah, okay. Sounds like you need tech therapy.
Yes, it does.
Just in case people are here who don't know what we're talking about, on Thursday evenings, there's the Rundown show, and one of the segments that he has tech therapy, and he'll say something and then ask for
help.
That was referenced to.
Wow. Frank found something. Frank, is this to get reports of the meetings that you've been in?
Yeah, I was just trying to help Lois.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that, Lois. If you go into here, I'll bring it up for you.
There's the admin one, and then there's your personal reports.
Right. So if
Frank, could you send that again? I was out of the meeting and back, and I'm not seeing any chats.
I'm gonna show you also. So if you go into your settings over here, and you go to, no. Oh, sorry. It's not in your settings. Analytics and reports, meetings and webinars, meeting and webinar history. So this is, I don't even know what I'm logged into here. So this is just, I did just from 6/19 to 6/20. So let me go back. So if I want to see from April until, let's do until today. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, the maximum report is 1 month. Okay. So we'll do, it's not going to let me do that either. So we'll do 1 month. Meetings and webinars, has any data, search. And now I can get a list of all of my meetings. Presume if they were scheduled, they would have different names. If they were in different rooms, they would, you'd see all that. Who was the host, start time, end time, how many participants were there, how long did each meeting last, and total participant. This is actually a nice report. And then you can export this. You can either export the list with participant details or export the list with features used. So you just go into your Zoom account, and it's the very last option of this top section under personal. Just go to analytics. For me, it's called analytics and reports. It may just be called reports for you.
So David, why were you in a meeting all by yourself for 12 minutes?
I don't know.
Are you recording something for us?
Welcome to my world.
No, that's probably because I had a meeting scheduled with someone and they didn't show up, and I gave them the 10-minute. We used to, when I was in college, I learned that you give the professor 10 minutes before you run out of the room because they didn't show up on time. So
I usually turn on the meeting when I expect someone, and then I cover it up with all the other stuff I'm working on. Sometimes though, they don't even notice it's still on.
yeah, that's actually a great find though for you, Lois, if you do want that information. So and then if you click on, sorry, I should have showed you this. So when you're on this report, if you click on the participants, I'll click on just me. It'll give you a list of who were the participants, how long were they in here, were they a guest, were they in the waiting room, all that other stuff. So this is really good data.
Do you get the email address even if you didn't require registration for the meeting?
I don't know. Let me check, but let me do it this way.
That's more complicated. It depends.
I did not. So I have a meeting. Actually, I can put this up because
it depends if they're part of your license or if they're external, and then there's settings regarding what you want to do with external people.
So this person, this was not scheduled through Zoom. It was using my PMI. And so I used the same one. And so I just sent him the link. He joined. So because he did not register, I don't have his email address here. I don't know why he's in here twice, and I don't know why.
Well, he left and came back, a second later.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know why it says this one was in the waiting room, this one wasn't, because there's no way to get into my.
If you use the
the
unique
waiting room shows as a separate entry.
David.
Yeah, go ahead.
Show that screen you were just showing.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just looking. Here's another example.
Okay. See at the top, there's a box that says you show unique users. When you actually export the report, it'll unify people who have come back multiple times in the meeting.
Right. So this
It looks like the waiting room did show up as a separate entry.
Yes.
And it said how long they were in the waiting room.
So this person was in my meeting for 20 minutes. It looks like, again, I'm not sure why. Maybe she did drop out. I don't know. I don't remember.
That's in the waiting room. Yes.
No, but I'm saying there are two. There's 2 times she was in the waiting room and 2 times she was in the meeting.
You can also join from multiple devices in meetings, so you could join from your computer and your phone.
Yeah, that's not what happened, but that's the same one. Sorry. All right, what's this? Okay.
That's our.
Oh yes, this is one of our. Okay. So this is. Yeah. So you're right. It's treating the waiting room almost as a separate meeting within this meeting, if you will.
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
David, it looks like it only shows your email address and nobody else's.
No, that's because, again, I use PMI for I'm a bad Zoom user, and I use my personal meeting room for everything. And so none of these people had to register. That's why. Which is why I'm comfortable showing this screen, by the way. That's why.
Because if you went to the YouTube archives, you would see us anyway.
Right. In any case, that's great data.
I put the billable apps information in the chat, the Zoom content about it.
Ooh,
Hey,
okay.
David, I wanted to ask a question before we moved on. So I use Ecamm Live, but when I'm in somebody else's meeting, I use Ecamm Live virtual camera. Why would anybody want to start someone else's meeting in Ecamm and not in Zoom? What would be the benefit of that?
Why? Say that one more time. Why would?
In other words, when I go into my meeting, I use Zoom. I always go in with Zoom, but I use the Ecamm features. So when you go to video, it says Ecamm Live Virtual Cam is what I'm using rather than any of my other cams. But I don't ever start a meeting in Ecamm Live unless it's my own meeting. Would there be a benefit to go into somebody else's meeting from Ecamm Live rather than the way I'm doing it?
Yeah. So I mean, a couple things right off the top. There are some benefits and there are some downsides. The downsides is what we were talking about before, is that you don't have the most up-to-date SDK. And so you will not have the updated chat experience. You won't have the updated emoji experience, things like that. If you join through Ecamm for Zoom or any of the other third-party tools that use the Zoom SDK. On the Ecamm side, I mean, the audio routing is much simpler when you use Ecamm for Zoom. You don't even have to think about it. You can grab chat messages and bring them up on screen, even if you're not the host or co-host. When you're using Ecamm for Zoom, you could add cameras if you wanted to, whether you're a host or co-host. And the last thing is that, having one less app open on your computer is never a bad thing. And so for me, I just use Ecamm for Zoom for everything. Any meeting that I join. Muddy, what do you, because I know you use it also. You're in here with it.
Yeah. So the other reason I was going to say is that, and what I was just testing with Ecamm was using it for contribution, right? So I had a client who asked, how can I pull someone else in and have the kind of 2-up view? And so I joined with Ecamm, which now allows me, a little bit like Zoom ISO, it allows me to pull in any of the Zoom users as a camera feed in Zoom, or in Ecamm, excuse me. So I was able to create a scene that had 2 people, side by side as my camera. Now that's kind of a special use case. It's not necessarily why you would typically join Ecamm for Zoom in someone else's meeting, but it is a reason to use Ecamm for Zoom in a meeting, is to use it to be able to pull those video feeds into an Ecamm scene, if that makes sense.
It does. By the way, John threw in the chat, just before we leave, Jan, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. But I guess in 2 apps instead of 1. But I've been doing it this way for a while, and it seems to work pretty well.
Hey, if it works for you, it works for you. So
he has the same problem you have, though. Your lip sync is off.
Yeah, I don't think that's an Ecamm thing. That's a me thing, I think, to be honest with you. Because right now I'm not in Ecamm for Zoom. Right now I'm just in regular old Zoom. So
sounds like just an audio routing issue.
Yeah, that's yeah. But I just want to go back. So John, thank you, John, threw in the chat the link about the billable hours, and I pulled that up, and it actually references what the link that Frank sent us earlier about reporting, which is really, really helpful, I think. So this is the get built-in time tracking with Zoom billable hours. And by the way, this is available on the phone, which is nice. You can set up automatic time tracking. You can add details. You can assign client and project codes, and then access exact timestamps. And then you see that data, all that data, it looks like will show up in your reports, in the reports tab. It's not a good picture, but that is the reports tab that in this screenshot they're looking at. So presumably the billable hours will be viewable there in that report section. Explore plans and so
yeah, just David, if you just go back and then look at the bottom there where you were just about to click, it shows you which versions.
Oh, here, thank you. Sorry. Zoom billable hours is included with Zoom Phone, Zoom Workplace, Zoom Workplace Pro Plus, and Business Plus plans purchased online beginning May 19th, 2025. Well, I purchased mine long before then, and I don't have the Business Plus plan. It says Zoom Workplace, which is, that's sort of generic. I wonder.
David, can we ask folks in this meeting to go home and turn on one of their meetings where they're the host, see if they have it, see if it works, see if having a co-host, do all that testing and come back next week and report?
Yeah. You mean the billable hours piece?
Yeah, the billable hours
Yeah.
thing, because it would make sense to me if I was, let's say I'm doing some work for somebody and somebody else is also working and we're collaborating, we're going to all talk together to the client. The two of us should separately be able to have billable hours when we're on.
Right.
So maybe we can play with that.
So I just started a new meeting on a separate computer on a, oh no, sorry. This is part of the business account. So that's why I thought
if you want to test it, David, you need 2 people in the meeting because you need to be you and then you need a person to bill, because that's the problem I've just got trying to copy it as well.
What I was wondering is it available on just a pro plan? That's what I was looking at, but I don't have access to a plain old pro plan.
Yeah. So I just, at Lois's recommendation, just did some testing already, created a new meeting. And as the host in that meeting, I see start billable hours as an option. And
that's a pro plan?
That's a free account, but it's linked with it's a user on a pro plan, but it's not a licensed user, right? So that free account is in my account, but it doesn't have any license assigned to it. So it's a free user. And I just added a second user to that meeting. They do not see billable hours when they are an attendee. So let's see what happens if I make them a co-host, if they will see it. So I just made them a co-host and now they still don't see it. So a co-host does not see it.
Co-hosts in this meeting did not see it. So
yeah. But the host sees it, even on a free account.
That's interesting. I wonder if it's one of those things that Frank has often warned us about, that, you know, it's kind of out there now and people can play around with it, but eventually it's going to end up as a paid service. It makes sense to me that it would eventually end up as part of the scheduler that Zoom already has out there. Because one of the things that keeps me from using the scheduler is the fact that, at least as far as I know, you cannot charge yet for meetings. So, you know, I have free meetings that, you know, if someone just needs help, but if someone wants a consult, then I want to charge for it. As of right now, I'm looking right now and I still don't see, a way to charge for services. Interestingly enough, in Google, Google has a built-in scheduler, and you can actually attach, is it Stripe or something to
Stripe, David? Yes. I was going to ask you if they had the Stripe capabilities. I know Zoom has some Stripe capabilities, but may not have that yet.
You mean in Zoom?
Sorry, in Zoom, yes.
Yeah, because I did see that for the first time. I saw that in Google, and I was a little surprised by that. But I don't see it here in Zoom yet. But it would make sense to me that this whole billing thing would fit right there. Lois, go ahead. And Mike, I'm going to throw it to you for 2 seconds.
okay, so are we done with this and I can go on to a new thing?
Sure. I know John is doing some testing in the background and he disappeared on us, but that's fine. Yeah. John will report back to us. Go ahead, Lois.
So I left and I came back. And when I did, people were saying, well, I just put it in the chat. I looked in the chat, one there. And what was there is you're up next, which is the thing you get when you raise your hand from something called TTG Productions. I did not know and had not seen before, at the top of the chat window, it was highlighted, and meaning I would only see messages from that one account. I have to click on everyone in order to see the rest of the messages. That's got to be new.
Okay. Last week we were talking about the new tabbed chat stuff. Is that what you're speaking about? Because I know with the way David has his companion set up, if you raise your hand, it TTG Productions automatically through, I don't know if that's Zoom, I think that's Zoomizo or Sumo SC that's doing that. It's actually sending you the information that you're up next. And that is actually now going into, with the newest versions that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, into specific tabs now. So you would actually have a TTG Productions tab at the top.
My point is, when I came into the meeting the very first time, at noon, in the chat, I was seeing all the things that were coming and going, including the notice that you're up next and whatever, and it was all there. When I went away and came back in, now it's separate things at the top. And there are three things. One says everyone, one says TTG production, one is a plus sign, it says add new chat. Well, but anyway, so it
So
changed.
So you did not have that before you came back in.
First time I came in, I saw everyone. I don't know if there was anything up there. I didn't see it because I'd never seen that before.
Right. But now you do.
Now I do.
After you did the latest modification.
Yep. And it came up not as everyone, but as that special thing.
Right. So now at the top, you have an everyone button.
Yep.
And you also have a TTG Productions button where it has that information.
Yep. And I have a new chat button. It says, who do you want to chat with? And you can choose one of these people.
Try your animated things. I bet they work now.
So that new chat button is like the drop down you used to have before in the old one. There was a little carrot you would drop down and it would give you the list of people. You click on them and you would be able to send them private message.
Right.
Are you seeing the animated stuff now, Lois?
In individual windows, but not across the screen.
Okay. We got something of yours fixed, but we didn't get everything fixed at this particular point. This is what I'm hearing.
I think one thing, Mike, I think that I think basically when you click the reaction button, you only see the reaction in your specific window. It doesn't take over the whole screen for everybody. In other words, the broadcast side, it doesn't show up on the broadcast side. It just shows so the host can see your reactions and everybody who's looking at the panel can see your reaction. But it won't take over it won't, otherwise it would be just interrupting whatever the host was doing. And then all of a sudden you would see your reactions all over his face during the meeting. So you only see it in the boxes.
We did this earlier in the meeting and everybody else, when they push that button, it goes over the whole screen, except for myself, and I think Tony. We were the only ones that didn't have that. And now Jan.
Yeah. Okay. So again, it really depends on, again, it's getting back to what client you're using, what version of the client you're using, and make sure that again, this is one of the latest features that did come out with 6.5.
But also what server you're on.
Yeah.
Zoom doesn't roll out new features to the whole world on the same day. They have thousands of servers and it slowly gets put on each server. So if you're not on the server that I'm on and I have it, you may not get it for a few days.
Well, we'll try it again next week. Okay. Can I
hold on. Who says that it works over the host? Who's okay, so Muddy, why don't you, I'm watching it on YouTube on another screen right now, and I don't see any reactions coming up.
Lots of things don't show up on YouTube because that's the stream.
Yeah, Jan, again, you got to remember now that you're watching both. So what is going up to YouTube, they do not see any of the emojis. This is only within the Workplace app that they added this feature. This is not going to be on YouTube. This is not going to be on anything that you RTMP out of the Workplace app, or if you're using the live stream app at all, because that functionality is coming from a different section on Zoom servers, right? So that's got nothing to do with the actual Zoom meeting itself. It's doing its best to actually just send either what David right now set up, which is right now speaker view. That's what's being sent to YouTube. And again, the emojis are not going over speaker view, right? So that's the important thing to understand is that, and again, even if you're in gallery view on YouTube as well, they did not see those emojis either. It's just not that functionality is not getting sent from the streaming servers that they're using that are sending it to YouTube in this case. Now, if you are talking like I'm talking and you do the actual reaction with effects, you will see that as I'm talking, these will now get shown up on YouTube. Yes, but that is because it's my window, it's my speaker window.
And we
I'm
were
looking
talking
right
about
now.
the lower tier of reactions, not the upper tier.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
the
they're
only
right.
one that,
Now I'm watching it now. Yes, it just popped up. The thumbs up just popped up, but I
but
don't
that
see
was
anyone
again
else.
me using the send with effects, not reactions.
I leave for 2 minutes and you're playing with reactions again?
Yes, because Jen was confused of why certain reactions were happening and certain ones were not, and why YouTube was not seeing reactions, but they were when you were doing it, and that was because you were showing your desktop, which was showing the Zoom meeting, right? So I had to fix all that, make sure everybody understood that. And everybody on YouTube, if you don't understand that, let us know in chat, and we'll explain that even better. Go ahead, Lois.
hi. So I came into this meeting with a question, and here's what it is. We're going to have an event. After the event main session is over, we want to break out into the 4 panelists, one in each breakout room. In a breakout room, can someone share screen? And are there any limitations on their sharing a screen in a breakout room?
Yes, you can share screen, but you have to enable screen sharing before you go into the meeting. And Lois, you are a genius because I can now add that it's now possible to record in breakout rooms in webinars.
What does
Very
that
important.
mean, genius?
Now, Lois, it's very important what John said at the end there for webinars.
Yeah.
I hope that comes to meetings. Webinars always gets the new stuff first.
So Frank, does that mean that in a regular meeting, I cannot share screen?
You can share screen. It's the recording. The part that's exciting is that you can record breakout rooms in a webinar. You couldn't do that before, unless just someone did it locally.
Okay. So I guess what we'll do for our program, it's a genealogy program, by the way, for absolute beginners, and anyone is welcome. And we're posting the link everywhere. So I guess what we'll do is we'll have the group, the panelist that has the most people following them gets to stay in the main room, and the other 3 get to go to the other room, and that way we can record the most popular one.
I don't see a separate setting to allow screen sharing in breakout rooms. It's just, you just mean in the meeting, the in meeting setting.
Yeah, you changed the meeting setting. Okay, got it.
Maybe you need to test it, but as I understood it, David, you have to set up that setting first, then you open up the breakout rooms and it's inherited into the breakout rooms.
Right. So in this meeting, we always have everything turned on. So right now I do have a breakout room open. If someone would like to, they can go and jump in and test screen share.
I screen share in meetings all the time, and I set up 3 or 4 meetings where I've got different computers in each meeting, and I don't have a problem in breakout rooms. No, in breakout rooms.
Right.
Because I do a monthly writing retreat, and each room has a different computer in it and a different screen share. You just have to screen share. You got to select all can screen share.
Yep.
But also, if you bring those people in as host or co-host, they can share.
There you go.
David, you mentioned you had everything on, but when I go in and see it, I don't see question and answers. And I have it turned on my side, but I can't figure out how to get people to ask me questions in my meetings. How do you do that?
Q&A only is in a business account. Do you have a business account or a pro account?
I have a business account.
You do?
I think I have a business account.
Do you have
Let me see.
Business accounts, unless you've done it recently, are 10 account minimum.
Oh, no, I don't have a business account.
So yeah, so Q&A it only exists in meetings for business account owners.
So then why do I have it why do I have it on my screen, turn it on and off?
I don't think you do.
I do. Absolutely, I do.
You see it now?
I have Q&A and it says host has turned off Q&A. If I click the Q&A button on the bottom of the screen.
Now because this is part of my business account. So like I just turned it on. So now you should be able to answer questions or ask questions.
Yeah, now I could see it now.
Right. So I just but that's because I'm the host and this is a business account. So I have Q&A turned on. If you're the host and you only have and you have a pro account, then you don't have Q&A.
Right. By the way, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the tip that you gave me about these Zoom sessions. You saved me $1,000.
Ah, there you go.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Now I just got to figure out how it works.
It feels a little convoluted to get it set up. I'm happy to walk you through it. It's really not. It's just there's one extra step you have to take of setting up a what's that called in Zoom events? A hub. You have to create a hub, but it's not all that complicated.
Did you guys do that last week? Because you said you were going to try to do it from the week that Jan started.
No, we didn't do it last week. I don't know if Jan, I don't know if you want to, we could do it together if you want, but,
yeah, I've got 50 seats.
so you did. So if you want to screen share and we can get you set up.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So in order so that you can take advantage of all the goodies that come with it.
So I can do that now in your meeting?
Sure. It's just we just have to set up the hub in the back end.
And how do I do that?
So you're going to, why don't you go ahead and screen share a browser and you're going to go to,
maybe log in first before.
Yeah. Log in go to events.zoom.us.
Okay. Give me a second.
Sure. Lois, were you able to screen share?
It was wonderful. I can record, I can screen share, we got everything. And I even got one person so far, I'm hoping to get two, who will come to the program with me and totally ignore the program, but be security.
There you go.
So you could screen share in the you could record in the breakout room?
Yes, to your own computer if you are a host or co-host.
So here's one thing that I'm curious about. When you do recording, if someone has done the cloud recording, then the local co-host, the local recordings won't work. You have to do local first and then cloud. Is that true in the breakout room as well? Probably, right?
That's a good question.
I don't think it can be true because the breakout rooms aren't on until someone activates them.
Right. So then they're just separate. The person can just do it in there.
The big trick with, let's say you have multiple breakout rooms and you're the host and you want a recording from each one, you basically need a volunteer to go into each breakout room and get a recording and then send it to you after the meeting.
I have multiple computers. They all get their own.
Oh, you can do it that way too.
And in the breakout room, we saw the possibility of recording to locally, but not recording to the cloud. There was no cloud recording option.
But Tamara, I think Lois just proved your point because we are recording to the cloud in the main session, but she was able to go into.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're not?
No, we're not.
Well, we are using the recording function. Mine shows recording.
Because
you brought
eCam in.
For the contribution.
Yeah, because you brought eCam in.
That was me.
Yeah.
It wasn't showing that before then.
Right.
Ah,
yeah.
Okay.
No, it's all your fault.
Okay. Never mind.
And on my participants list, I do not see any recording.
It'd be a good test if one of the hosts or co-hosts wants to start cloud recording. I'll pop into the breakout room and test local recording.
We are now cloud recording.
Cool. I'll pop in.
But I guess it only needs to be a host or co-host. Is that right?
Well, when I was in there with Lois and the gang, because I'm a co-host, I was allowed to record to local
Oh,
computer.
you were. Okay, cool.
And Lois was allowed to ask to record.
Oh, perfect. Do you want to pop in there again, Mike?
Yep, I'll come in.
Tamara just did it. She's back.
I had the option to do it, but I couldn't record because I'm not a co-host, and so I requested it, but I don't know if it actually requested to anybody.
So it didn't request it to me.
It would
because I'm
request
not in that,
inside the
right,
inside
but
the
no,
backup room.
they just went back in and yeah, he'll be able to, it'll work once you're
All
in.
right.
So I'm going to go in there and see if I can request from him.
Okay. Jan, were you able to get logged into Zoom?
I'm all set, ready to go whenever you say.
Great. You want to screen share? It's coming. It's thinking.
Wow, that's slow.
Yeah. It's thinking. There we go. Okay. So are you logged in with the same email that you purchased?
Yes.
Great. So you want to go to, this is events, right? So access the events portal. Fantastic. So now go to, oh, you already have a hub. So go up to Jan Landy's hub. Yeah. And so that you may not need to do anything at this point. I'm not.
I think I'm already in the hub. This is the hub. So this is, that's inactive hubs. There I am.
Do me a favor. Go to click on account. That I just want to make sure that no, in the top left, hub control. You haven't linked any payment. Okay, you don't need that. Business in add-on licenses, business info. You might be good to go.
Okay.
Because the one extra step is you have to create a hub. But if you already have
I'm
a
not
hub
going to add any
created,
billing. I'm not selling anything.
yeah.
And then we go back to the hub, and then I guess I just got to create a
No,
meeting or an
you
event.
don't even have to do. You don't do any of that. I mean, if you want to create an event, you can, but you never have to come back here again.
Right. Okay. Well, then I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, you should be good to go. The test.
Yeah, because I got 1080p now. I mean, I am streaming.
So there you go. Yeah. So you're good to go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantabulous.
Now, are you guys using tiles at all? Because isn't
Yeah.
that similar?
Yeah. So this is tiles. Oh, sorry. I'm not set up right now. There you are. It's very slow for me. I don't know why. Let me change this. So this is a tiles setup here that I'm running on this other machine. I don't know why I don't have more people's faces in here though. There's something goofy going on here. Editor outputs. Like there are a whole bunch of people that aren't included for some reason. I don't really know why. Sometimes it just needs like a refresh. Auto start output engine on meeting join. Okay.
Fred, is that what you were talking about with me in the chat?
Yes, I remember you were asking about something, but it was a couple of weeks ago. I've lost brain cells since then.
Toggle this off and on.
Is that a separate piece of software, David?
Yes, it is.
And so you get that from the App Store?
No, you download it from liminalet.com. liminalet.com. That is a part of Zoom, but they have their own website.
Right.
wow, I don't know why it's not pulling in all these different, I have 5 eligible people, but it's not, for whatever reason, it's not pulling them all in, and I don't really know why.
That seems almost like the interface of eCam to me, whereas you could make those different
Yeah,
templates.
yes, the difference is that in eCam you would have to bring all of these individual folks in as individual cameras. What Tiles is doing is it's grabbing the entire gallery and it's formatting the gallery. But again, it's not really grabbing everyone, and I don't know why. I might need to just restart this.
And could you switch if you only have one computer and you start a Zoom meeting, could you switch between normal and Tiles? Or once you're in Tiles, you're in Tiles?
Well, Tiles is a whole separate client. So just like eCam is its own client, and Zoom OSC and Zoom ISO, they're all their own clients. And so you would need to, you can join just from Tiles. Let me.
Could you run a whole meeting from Tiles?
It's a good question. I'm not. Oh, thank you, Mike. Always request permission. I think you could. I mean, this is this is the interface. It's a regular old, Zoom interface. I just don't turn my video on. I don't have a camera attached to it, so. But presumably you could, and you get, once you start that, you've got your regular Zoom meeting client right here. If I switch, it'll look better if I switch it to gallery. All right, so here's my Zoom client, and again, it's not on the latest SDK, but I've got, you've got all the basic stuff here. So yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, now it needed a restart. Now I've got some more faces. There's something going on. I don't know if it's NDI or what, but something weird is going on with, it's not capturing all the different people that I have. I don't know quite what that is. Muddy.
Quick request. Would you grant me local recording permission here in the main session? And then I'm going to complete our testing to see if that will carry over and allow me to record in the breakout room.
Sure. Go ahead.
And before you leave, Muddy, I have exciting news.
Okay, wait a second. Hold on a second. So, Muddy, did you request yet? There we go.
Yep, just sent the request.
Okay.
Perfect. Approved. Go ahead, Ross. Cool. Sorry.
The exciting news, and this is Muddy's in part of this, is that when we were in a breakout room, we couldn't record until the co-host identified an individual and gave them permission. Asking for permission only goes to the host. The host wasn't in the room, that didn't get us anything at all. But the co-host can go to R-Square or to the participants list, the 3 dots, and give us permission to record. And when he did that in breakout room 1, and I went to breakout room 2, I could still record. This is so exciting. Yeah. So Muddy, you're off. We'll see you in a moment or two.
But breakout rooms inherit the permissions from the main room. So if you had permission in the main room and you went to breakout room, then you would be able to do it that way too.
Right, and that's
I did not have permission in the main room. I got permission in the breakout room. Is it carried forward to this? Can I record here?
You inherit from the permissions from the main room and the breakout room.
And from the breakout room to the main room, because I can now record when I couldn't before this whole experiment started.
So your settings follow you, basically, is
both directions. It turns out for recording.
Right. By direction.
So if you didn't want to, if a co-host didn't want to come join the room, or you didn't have a co-host, you would, in advance of having the meeting going, you would say to the host, "Can I have recording permission so that when I go in the breakout room, I don't have to bug you?"
I wonder though if I could give them to someone from here. So, no, because when someone moves, why is it going to remove participant? Okay, so John Muddy. Well, I already gave it to him. John is in a breakout room.
And is a co-host, so he has permission.
John is no, he's not.
Are you sure?
John Drinkwater? No. He's not a co-host. I can't. I was going to see if I could give him recording permissions from here once he was already in there, but I can't.
Can you even see him? I don't see him on a participants list.
No, I can see him in the breakout rooms list. I cannot see him in the.
Got it.
Yeah, and there's nothing that I can do.
You could drag him kicking and screaming out of the breakout room,
Good.
back to the main room, make your change, and then put him back in there. He'd never know what happened.
Yes, I could do that. You're right about that.
I have a dumb question. How do you get to a breakout room?
You click on the square at the bottom, it says breakout rooms.
If it's not there, look in your more menu.
It depends on how wide you're.
Muddy, what'd you find?
Yeah, so completed my testing. The short answer is if you have local recording permission, you can record in a breakout room. And as Lois pointed out, if you're in a breakout room and you don't have local recording permission and you click the record button, a pop-up comes up, says, typically it says request recording permission. And in this case, I think it said request recording permission from host.
Yeah.
But there was no button to actually request. There was only a button to hit cancel because the host wasn't in the breakout room with us, but we did have a co-host. So when you request, so as long as you have local recording permission, you can record, and that carries through. If you're in a breakout room, you come back to the main session, you go into a breakout room, you'll continue to have permission to record locally. You can only request that from the host. So if the host is not in the same room as you, meaning same breakout room or main session, there's no option to request. However, a co-host can grant local recording permission by clicking on you in the participants list or clicking the three dots over your video, and they can give permission to record locally. And
So
that
you
carried
have to
through.
ask with your human voice, not with a button. Can I record, please? Please.
Yeah, or in chat. But one of the things that I then tested is I had Mike revoke local recording permission. I came back to the main session because I wanted to test the theory that in the main session, so this is exciting because previously you would need, if you wanted someone to record the breakout sessions, you would need to make them co-hosts, which is then a little bit dangerous because they can accidentally close all the breakout rooms, right? So, but what was exciting is that in the main session, you can assign people, and you can assign multiple people permission to record locally, and then send them into breakout rooms, and they'll be able to record locally in those breakout rooms. So you can do all that in the main session before you send them into breakout rooms.
And the fact that they have no other control except that control is
That's right.
amazing. Is amazing, because then you can just target what people are allowed to do.
I did one other test, which was really just anecdotal and interesting, but I went to room 2, started recording, and then I switched to room 1. And as soon as I came into room 1, I was still recording, but I was now recording room 1. So it kind of, it looked like it paused recording, switched me to the new room, and then immediately started recording in the new room, which.
So that's fascinating. I'll be really curious to see what those recordings, like, do you get 2 separate recordings? So you were auto recording in that second room. One of the things that I tried to do while you were in there was, so let's say I send people off to their rooms, but I say, oh, crud, I forgot to give recording permissions to Tamara. Can I give it to her when she's in a breakout room? Mm-hmm. And the answer is I can't, because she has disappeared from my participants list. And although I can see her in the breakout rooms participants list, I have no controls over her in that room. So,
I wonder if they could fix that down the line, though, because you can do that. I mean, I don't know if you can send people things, but you can actually see people in like in a webinar, you can see them in all the areas that they're in from the main participant list. So I don't know if you were in a webinar, if you could have that capability, but you can find them in all the different places that they are.
It would be nice. It would be really nice to have in my participants list, just, next to every person's name, main, breakout room 1, breakout room 2, to kind of bring almost a merging of these two windows. Excuse me. That really
You
would
kind of have that in a webinar.
Yeah.
So I think it's doable.
We have something similar because if you go to if the host or co-host goes to the breakout list, they see where everybody is, who's in which room, who's unassigned, all that sort of stuff. If someone has gone into something and left, and so you can't move them back in there, and how you deal with all of that stuff. But I think, I don't remember, but maybe David can tell us, isn't there a way that you can search for a name? Isn't there a search field on that breakout room list?
Not on the breakout room. On the breakout room?
Yeah.
Oh.
On the participants tab within the breakout room list.
Right. So there are two tabs here. There's a rooms tab, and then there's a participants tab. To be honest with you,
their participants tells you what room they're in. That's cool. That's what you were asking for, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but you can't take any actions from here. So what I want is the actions that I can take from here, and the list that I have here. But all I want is just take this data, just take this right here, and move it over here. That's what I want. I also don't understand, while we're on this and while I'm complaining, because that's all I do, is I don't understand this. So room 1, John was in that room. He's now back in the main room.
Right. And you cannot move him to that room.
No. And it says not joined. Well, but I never put him in that room.
But right now you went to his name and you went to move to, and you tried to move him to that room. It would not work.
Yeah, it wouldn't
move him to room 2, and then from room 2 to room 1.
No, so that I know. And yes, that annoys me also. Yeah. But I'm not even there yet. I just don't understand why it says not joined.
It's about assignments, right? He's been assigned to room 1. Now, in this case, he assigned himself to room 1 because you have the ability for people to choose their own room. But that shows room assignments. And the fact that he's not in that room is why it says not joined. But
the problem is,
I understand your frustration.
Right. Assignments, right. I completely understand that. Assignments only, that language, that vocabulary only works when people cannot choose their own. As soon as people can choose their own, then they're not assigned anymore. They're just choosing to go into a particular room.
And he can, once again, move himself to room 1. He doesn't have to do the go to room 2, go to room 1 thing. He can go directly to room 1. You just can't move him there.
Right.
But I do love the persistent feature, though, because I do events where I assign like producers to one event and I assign writers to them, and then I close it out and I assign new writers and I open it up and the producers go back. So it's great. It is a great feature that they can be assigned to a room and you can close the breakout rooms, open them up again, and they're still assigned.
Oh, so you're saying you only assign part of the people?
Yeah, so what we do, because we do a writer-producer speed date, I create 12 rooms. I pre-calibrate the rooms by assigning all the producers and trailing producers in their rooms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then when I close them out, we're all in the main room. We assign just the writers to the rooms, 1, 2, 3 to 12. We open it up, and then all the producers are already there. They go back, the writers go back. In between each pitch, the rooms close out automatically. My stage manager moves all of the writers down one, keeps the producers where they are. He reopens the things. Producers go back to their same rooms, writers go to the new room. And we do that 12 times.
Automated?
Twice. I would love it automated. I think it can be.
I can automate it for you.
I think it can be. I think the thing about it has been, here's why I have thought not to do it that way. Although actually I would love to have it automated for my guy because it would make his life simpler. But now people have gotten used to having that minute in between the pitches to rechange their pitches before. But yeah, I love the idea of automating it. It's always been my dream.
Okay, I have been before I got into the hand raised app issue, I got dragged into, I was actually designing a breakout room app, and we've already got all the basics of how it works. So I understand how to control the API. And the one example that we ran to demonstrate it was you could choose a group size, say 5 people. It would throw everybody into breakout rooms, and then you can bring them back. And you said resort. It would sort them all randomly, put them back into breakout rooms, but they would never meet the person they were in the previous breakout room. So it tracked.
So
who's
mine, this is how specific it is.
But yours is another level. I like your
mine
idea,
is another
yours
level
another
because
level.
the writers move down the list and then move back up, and the producers stay the same. And then it matches.
So the hosts of those breakout rooms effectively stay in those breakout rooms, and everybody else gets shuffled around.
And I use Obvio, so each person literally sees a different dashboard. And because they're tagged that way. And so every writer sees this is the exact order of the producers I'm going to see. And the producers see this is the exact order that I'm going to see. And all 60 of those people see a different board.
Brilliant.
It's craziness.
That's an amazingly wonderful thing that you fixed there, Tamara. That's
I use Zoom and Obvio in every way they were not intended to be used. If there's a way for either of those things to not be used, I have used it that way.
I love that. That's fantastic.
So David, were you breaking tiles while I was gone? I'm just asking.
No, I look, I don't know anything about networking and stuff, and there's got to be something. I don't know.
Oh, David, here's a tip for you. If you're running NDI, make sure that both computers that you're using are all the computers that are running NDI. All the clocks on the computers are in sync. I mean in sync. I don't mean a couple seconds behind in sync. I mean in sync within a second.
I don't even know how to check that.
And if you go, well, on a Mac, I'm sorry, on a Windows machine, you would go to right mouse click on the bottom where your date and time is, and you would do adjust date and time. And then you go into that section, and in there you would find sync.
Okay.
So if I don't know where you'd be on a Mac on that, but I think I'm probably not far off on that.
Date and time. It's just set. It's not like there's nothing to sync.
You don't have anything, it won't sync with the time server anywhere?
It syncs with the time server. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying it just like it's syncing with the Apple time server.
Yeah, that's right. And if all of your machines are set that way, then they're all going to be at the same time.
So they're all at the same time.
It should be if you change it to a different server though and come back, a sync now button should come up.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
I wouldn't. Okay.
And again, I know that Fred, that was a direct answer on PC. I know that for sure, but I don't know if they have that on Mac.
There are much deeper issues going on here because I mean, the sync is off on NDI. The connection is terrible. If you look at my meters, the meter stalled again. Like I don't even know what kind of computer this is.
And David, the infamous question that will come next is, have you set up an NDI VLAN on your network?
I don't even know what that is.
That was the official answer that I was expecting.
The button on that said make NDI work, and that's what I did.
Yeah, and this is the classic, and it's not a stab at you, it's just a classic of educational information that NDI has not done very well. They just think that turn this on and everything will work. Well, no.
We're just going to put it on the public LAN. Yeah, no.
Right, no.
So I actually have to, there's something I haven't done?
Yeah, again, it depends on how
60% of the time works every time. That's exactly right.
That actually is quite accurate, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, usually it takes about a half hour to an hour before NDI will actually, if your clocks are not in sync properly, for it to actually start to drift.
Are in sync. God Almighty, you and your clocks.
I'm just telling you what NDI tells me. You know, I didn't realize how. I know from the other technology. So Dante is very specific on clock, and they actually use a different type of clock that actually doesn't even rely on your operating system. That's how
I have a question for you, Mike. So is the frame rate make a difference if somebody's 720 and somebody's 1080 and somebody's 480 and whatever? Now you're trying to mix all those together in a single machine.
NDI doesn't matter in the frame rate or the resolution, but having said that, it deals with the bandwidth differently. So if it's a smaller video size, it's less video bandwidth. So the larger the video size, so if we're talking 1080p 60, yes. Is that going to be more bandwidth that I need to actually put that across the network? Yes. Do I need to be thinking about if again, I don't know 100% if Tiles is using NDI HX or full NDI, what they call NDI full bandwidth, because NDI full bandwidth will use, depending on the version, originally it was over 100 megabit per second. But in the newer version, I'm hearing it's better, but it's still, if David is sending potentially anywhere between 8 to 10 NDI feeds on the network at one time that could be accessed at one time, he could be actually slowing down his entire network in the whole office if he does not have a VLAN set up properly.
I may have just found part of the problem. So I'm plugged into Ethernet.
Yes.
And I turned off Wi-Fi, and now I'm not connected to the internet.
And now you're not connected to the internet with that machine.
Because I turned Wi-Fi off.
And the cleaners unplugged the other end, and I didn't notice.
Okay. This will be my job for next week. I'll play with this next week.
So NDI loves bandwidth, and do not give it Wi-Fi unless you really, and I'll say it the third time, really have to, because it will saturate all your Wi-Fi network in your whole office.
Okay.
Not just your room.
I'll work on that next week.
Cool.
Hey,
yes, Lois.
I noticed that Roland had his hand up for a long time and never got to talk to us. Can we go to Roland?
Absolutely. Roland, don't feel, we're not avoiding you. Please ask. And you have to unmute on purpose now, for sure, if you're asking a question.
No, I was just pointing out I asked a question about the wallpaper earlier in the chat.
Right. Yeah.
So that was one, and then I was just coming in on the NDI thing. But you, Mike, you covered the NDI thing properly.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that.
You have to be wired, if preferably avoid Wi-Fi unless you know what you're doing, and because it just gets messy. And preferably, as Mike was saying, one full full NDI stream can be 100 megs of your bandwidth. So if you have a gigabyte switch, you can, if you're running 4 of those, you can right there you can be running up to 400, which means you could be swamping what's happening. So even though the switch might say it's a gigabyte switch, many switches don't actually run at a gigabyte. That's just true. That is promotional material. It might be 800, maybe something like that. So you just have to be careful.
Yeah,
but Mike covered that pretty well. But going back to the wallpaper thing, I think is an interesting little feature. And I was asking how many persons have tried it out and fooled around with changing the wallpaper, forcing the wallpaper through to their clients.
Roland, what's a wallpaper?
All right, Tamara, I don't know if you want to go and explain, because you're
I actually wanted to know how to get, and it's in a host feature, you can change the wallpaper for the group, but I don't know if we can upload our own wallpaper. I tried it a couple weeks ago and it didn't seem to work.
What's wallpaper?
You can.
Go ahead, Muddy.
Yeah, you can upload your own wallpaper. So the short answer is, in the gallery view right now, the backdrop is just black or off black, right? The dark gray. But the host of the meeting, and maybe co-host, but certainly the host, under their view menu, will have an option to change the wallpaper. And if they do, it'll put a different wallpaper on the background of the gallery view. And there's a further setting that allows you to adjust the transparency of people's video. And it essentially does that like virtual, it pulls out the people and makes their background more transparent. So the wallpaper actually shines through.
But
for
these
everyone.
are in meeting settings or in the web?
These are
page
in meeting settings.
Because I tried to do it, but I thought I couldn't do it because of my Obvio account. Can I do it there or no? You would know that.
Yeah, go ahead, John. Yeah, John, your
question. I'll
screen
tell you
share.
I
Go ahead.
literally tried it last week.
John, you have to first go down to I would start with the account settings, because that's where you can upload different ones and then allow.
See, that's why I can't do it on Obvio. I can do it on my own. Probably.
Because this where John is now is at the user level, but if you
Okay.
go down to the admin area, the admin can upload, right, multiple backgrounds.
So I probably can, just not on my Obvio when I could do it on my own account. I'm going to try right now on my regular
Yeah,
account.
go ahead, John. Explain what you're showing.
But
Yeah,
John,
so
remember, you're at the
I've got
user level.
So I've gone to the screen set. I've just the easy way to do it is the search on Zoom is fantastic. So I've just gone to settings. I typed in the word background. You've got the ability to add virtual AI generated backgrounds if you want to be really zingy. But what we're talking about here is actually in meeting advanced virtual backgrounds. So you can hit manage virtual backgrounds and you can turn them on.
And John, you also have wallpapers. Do a search for wallpaper.
Well, virtual background is a wallpaper to the background of the user.
No, but I wanted to do the wallpaper so that Tamara and the others can see that.
So the wallpaper.
Different.
Right.
Yeah, in Obvio, I can choose the default wallpapers, but I can't upload my own.
That's what
in
I thought.
Obvio
Okay,
account.
so I can do it.
Right, so there it is, John. You don't have it on. You can turn it on.
And then I can set wallpaper, and I've got all meetings or all meetings I host.
And those are there. All right, so the next thing you need to do now, John, is go down to the admin area now.
Well, choose one of those while you're there.
Choose one, right.
Choose one, yeah. Okay. And done.
And that's where you set the transparency.
Sorry, I've had Windows in my way. Okay.
All
And
right,
then you
go
want me to
down
go to the advanced account
account.
set?
Right,
Yeah.
account management, account settings. And wallpaper again. Search for wallpaper again.
Hold on, let me just get this other window out of the way. You can't see it, but it's in the way of me. Right, there we are. Okay, so here's my, well, these are the ones you saw.
Right,
because
then
these
next
are the
to-
ones that I'm managing.
Right, you could manage now. And
Right,
here
you
you
choose
can
a file.
upload others.
Choose file means you get one from someplace else.
Right.
Choose a file means you get it from your machine, yeah.
Okay.
And then
drag
it's
and drop
available
files
to
here.
and then it's available to at the user level.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
That makes sense why I couldn't do it in the one meeting, but I can do it possibly in my own.
Thanks, John.
No problem.
So would one of the co-hosts please turn on the wallpaper so we can see what it looks like?
Okay. Yeah, I'm host now, and I gave John co-host. So Johnny, if you want to do that, I don't know. Is that at what level again? We can do that now. I
Yes,
guess we can
do this now.
Yeah, because you can you go up to view and then it's one of the choices underneath. It's like change theme.
Isn't that what you usually have on yours, Mike, where you have that?
But that
flame
is
thing
assuming
around
that
the
David
outside?
has it on. Because if David doesn't have it on, then it won't show.
Yeah, there
Correct. Yeah, and David does
There
have
it
it on.
is.
So
Yeah.
pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
and then
now we know what.
and also we can make it
wallpaper is.
transparent. There's the transparency of
That's
it too.
frightening. That's very scary.
Wait, try that
Yeah.
transparency thing again.
Scary thing is you can have two of you trying to do it at the same time and arguing with each other.
Oh.
There we go. We're all fishing.
I mean, it's kind of cool. Like for me, I do theater stuff. Like it really would let you, if you set your own backgrounds, do everybody's in the same set and then you adjust their lighting and then they're all kind of there. So it's got a good use to it for me.
Yeah. So good news. Good news is that happens in the Zoom meeting, and bad news is YouTube does not seeing this at all. What we're doing.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah. So again, as we were talking, and I'm watching everyone on
It's
YouTube.
a jungle out there.
Yeah. So we're in the jungle right
It's
now.
not a
officially.
jungle in here.
So yeah, YouTube, you are not seeing this at all.
I mean,
But
what I
I'm
asked is a
curious
very-
if in the recordings, if it would do
Right.
it. Like when you,
I doubt it though.
My guess is it won't.
But it's a very nice feature, so as you see.
Yeah.
so it probably won't record separately like that. It'll still record them as separate people.
Yeah, it almost
Still
feels
have
like
to put them
Tamara.
in post.
Yeah, Tamara. To me, it almost feels like it's, again, as John has been teaching me, it's a filter of sorts. But it's
Right.
basically, again, because the way the workplace app actually works is that you can almost think of all of us being in a web page.
Mm-hmm.
This is the background of the web page.
Right. So let me ask you this. If someone uses a filter, like one of those filters that like adds lipstick or adds something to them and they record them, then those filters aren't there? Or are they there?
If the user turned on the filter for
Yeah.
themselves, that's a good question.
So
I'm
like
thinking-
someone
I
comes
would-
to Zoom meeting and they're all, decked out with a nice filter that makes them look good and I record them. Is their recording not have that filter on it?
I believe it will. The rule that I keep in my head is that if the filter or the effect is in the window that you're in, your video window, it will go on.
I see.
If it's outside your video window, like the wallpaper is, then it will not be shown. Because what Zoom records is the box that I'm sitting in, or
Got
the
it.
box that you're sitting in.
So crazy use case. I create a wallpaper that I put up as the wallpaper.
Yep.
And I create it as a full thing and I create little boxes, cutouts of it that I give to every single one of my users and they put it in they apply it. Then it would record my boxes with them with their appropriate wallpaper.
If I followed what
back.
you've
May I
done,
share?
it should,
Okay,
yes.
so pretend that I want to take a bar setting. I get a picture of a bar and I break it up into 4 windows for actors to be in. And I give each actor their part of the bar setting. It will record if they put it on themselves, it will record it.
If you put it on as their background,
Yeah.
yes. Yes,
Okay.
it should record that, yes.
Then I would have all 4 of their little boxes and I could bring them into Ecamm and put them on my big background and they would all be sitting in the bar.
Okay, I've got another app idea for you then.
John and I are going to be like the best of friends.
Uh,
I am
So-
back and I
Yeah.
have a recording. May I share screen with you?
Please, Lois, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
That'd be lovely.
He's like, Tamara's giving me a headache.
No, Tamara's got me excited. Yes, Tamara, the other app world I'm working in is what's called the camera window. And that's what we're all in. We're all in a camera window. And you can add graphics and effects to that camera window. And I'm working on apps to make that happen. So not just lower thirds, but your idea is way beyond that.
All right, I love that. If you can make
Here we go.
dinosaurs talk to each other, that would be great.
It probably won't
Yeah,
record
go ahead, Lois.
like that. It'll still record. Are you seeing that?
Oh, I love being wrong when it looks pretty. Thank you.
And when I started recording, it gave me the blank background for just a fraction of a second, which means I can then use that later. So it
Yeah.
probably won't record.
So
it.
if
It
you
is
so
recorded. Look at there it
okay,
is.
so I want to change my answer slightly. It's not going to make any effect on the personal recording because that's in the box.
Right.
But because Lois had the foresight to do a gallery view,
Right.
and we were viewing the whole gallery view box, she got the graphics as well, which is great
But
news.
here's the
I'm glad that
thing.
worked.
If I created that wallpaper graphic in like Canva, and then I split up that wallpaper background, because we don't get to see that full background because boxes are in the way. So if
Yeah.
I figured out where people's boxes would be on that graphic and I took that chunk and gave it to that person, then you would get the full picture on the outside and the boxes inside would continue that graphic with people in front of it.
You could also
Tamara,
use
have you
transparent.
ever tried Zoom Tiles?
I have tried Zoom Tiles. I'm trying to figure out how my lay people can do it who do not have Zoom Tiles.
But in Zoom Tiles, you can preset where everybody's going to be.
Right. Right.
So if you have a background and you can think how you're going to lay them out.
But I could do that in Ecamm too. I'm trying to figure out how to get, so here's the thing, I can put the people there. I still have to have their background match. Otherwise they're just different squares of they're not part of the picture.
But
And notice
There's
how
the
do you get them in the
background
order?
and the pictures on top.
you're going
Yeah.
to change that anyway. You're going to edit that, Tamara. You're not taking the 4 squares as they are. You're taking individuals, right?
So here's the thing. I'm trying to find a way that if I were recording, which you answered my question, it's a lot of pre-work, but you can figure out where people show up in a meeting because you can spotlight them and you can put them in the order that you spotlight them in. So if you figured out what your main picture was going to be, that becomes your wallpaper, and you spotlit the people in exactly the way you wanted them to be, then they would have the piece out of the main picture as their personal background. Then when you recorded the gallery view, they'd all be part of the same picture, as opposed to having different backgrounds.
Just like I've done now.
But if you spotlighted them, then they would be in a different place than they would be in the gallery view.
Right, but you would figure out the cutouts based on where you knew you were going to spotlight them. So
And you'd have little green things around each picture.
Right. So what I would have, yeah, but you're going to have that anyways.
Oh, there's a way around that.
Yeah, I mean, I pull out everything separately, but I'm just trying to figure out how to get people's backgrounds to be similar.
So here's the thing for you, Tamara. If you find a repeating background, one that goes from the top to the bottom, but then that's the same as the top of the next one, so it repeats all the way down, all the way across, so it's a uniform background. That would mean you wouldn't have to work so hard because everyone would be having the same textured background or repeating background. So
but I'm thinking of I'm thinking of theater pieces. If I want everyone to be in a living room set, but I want one person on this side of the couch, one person in the middle of the couch, and one person on that side of the couch.
So if you're going to do that,
I mean, I could do it in tiles. That's really where I should do it.
Why not just give each person a virtual background that they turn on?
But that's what I'm saying.
Blend all the way to Chris.
So what I'm saying is I would give them each a virtual background that is a cutout of the wallpaper so that the entire Zoom screen when you record it is exactly the same picture. Their virtual background matches the wallpaper background. It's just a continuation.
Yeah, Roland actually brought up an interesting comment, Tamara. There is the immersive option in Zoom.
Right.
And you can create your own things to immerse into.
Right. That's another one.
I know that they have some cheesy ones right now that it looks like a little bit of a boardroom and stuff like that. So you have to make your own layout.
I hate virtual backgrounds anyways, because we get, even when you're adjusting the lighting on mine, it's a weird, virtual backgrounds never look good. But anyways. I do like what's funny about the backgrounds that they've selected is they're not very well done. Because like this picture on its own is great. And then when you put it as a wallpaper, it's actually not good wallpaper.
It's a background. It's not wallpaper.
But that's what I'm saying. But they have chosen it as a background, but like they would be better off choosing like little pencils or something that is smaller. But they have these really big pictures that are only good if you record it and get to see what the actual picture is.
But go ahead, John. Backgrounds are creatable by anyone. At any point, at any time, and you can just change your personal background to
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the wallpapers that Zoom has provided us with are not particularly good but I'm talking about the wallpaper because I really
background.
I want to have a Zoom meeting that is not all black. I want to have it like this. But this is so odd what you get to see in these backgrounds because they're not the picture at all. They're like little pieces of them. Like they just didn't design backgrounds that actually look good as wallpaper.
Well, that's
like this one does.
Chose this one, and there's others like this.
Right, this one is great, but like look at the one underwater. It's like you get to see a piece of the picture. You're not quite sure what you're looking at.
And it depends on how big your screen is.
I have a
giant screen. How many people are in the event? Do you have an even number so that you've
But
got?
like this picture, for example, is amazing. But the piece that you see is not the most amazing part of it. So it's like whoever designed it they designed an
Can you
amazing
adjust the
picture.
transparency a little bit, because I think that's where the transparency plays in now.
Yeah.
And if I adjust my window, I see more of it because I now just have everybody in 2 columns down the middle, and I'm seeing all the fish and the jellyfish, and I'm seeing all of the edges.
Yeah, the transparency
I have-
definitely helps it.
And yeah, that's also another thing. Is that as most transparent as you can get?
Almost. I'll go even further. I'll go 100%. That is right now 70.
Go to 100. Let's see it.
Now we're 100.
Okay, so now we're little fish floating around the ocean.
Right.
And swimming.
It's so interesting to me.
But I don't see how this would, even if you chose your own background, I don't see how this wallpaper would be conducive to having a group of people sitting on a couch, because you would only be able to see, 3 people if that's all you're going to see. You wouldn't. People are going to be floating around, or they're make
Right.
3 side by side is very difficult in Zoom. It will want to put 2 above and 1 below, or make a column of 3.
Right. I mean, that's the problem no matter what you do in Zoom, but it's doable. Like you can do 3 across, you can
Dear
do,
ladies,
yeah.
How do you get 3 across?
I put in
I
a,
can
a
have-
dummy one underneath.
dear ladies, you don't need to do this if you want to be really silly. We were talking earlier, Tamara, about redesigning the box around me, putting in graphics behind me. That's camera mode. There's also
Right.
another version of that called immersive mode. I can program an immersive mode. I can build a screen, and I can put as many, I don't know how many windows I can put on before my computer
Right.
blows up, but I can build a background, and I can put multiple video pictures on a screen.
Right. Okay.
Outside Zoom. That's what it.
No, this is a Zoom app. So I can do this,
Right.
but I can choose where everybody sits.
Right. I know it's
I-
all doable. It's not doable by me because I like think of the ways to break things. I don't, and then I have to figure out what I want to do.
No, but it's a fascinating use case.
I have a couple fascinating. I might reach out to you.
And I would normally pin 3 people and then adjust my screen so it was long and skinny. I can only pin 1 person. I can't pin the second and third.
But you can
person.
spotlight people as long as 3 cameras or more are on.
No, I'm not.
It's-
I'm
it's
saying
because
that
you're not
I
the
can't,
host.
because I'm not the host.
Right. You can
But I
only,
can usually pin more than 1 person because that's a personal. Can someone check?
No, you have
if
to be
you can
given
pin-
permission to
They locked it out.
multiple.
I can
pin. No,
enable that
it's
for you.
always been an option. But it's a permission you have to be given, like local recording. Multi-pinning is a permission that you can be given.
But don't you just turn that on for the whole meeting? Do you have to give it to 1 person?
No, you
Yeah,
just
it's
turn
an
it on for
individual-
everybody. So, Lois, you can now multi-pin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's an individual permission. It's not
Right.
something you enable for the whole meeting for everybody.
I don't
Right.
have
Yeah, it's not a global participant is what Muddy's saying. Yeah, you're correct, Muddy. It's per
Wait,
person.
can you give
So-
me multi-pin, please?
And so what I've done is I've pinned 3 people. I've made my window really
Done, Tamara.
Okay, cool.
And now if you turn on that wallpaper, let's see oh, wait a minute. Wallpaper only works in gallery view, not in pinned. It's not going to work.
It only lets me replace pin. It doesn't let me. Wait, am I doing it wrong?
I have turned on the background just for everybody on YouTube, just to let you know. I know you're not seeing a lot of this, but yeah. So we are definitely playing around with immersive. We played around a little bit with the backgrounds and wallpapers. And right now, Tamara is playing around with multi-pin.
I am pinning.
So if I have 3 people pinned and I turn off my thing that says show the people's names and things, then I can screen scrape a long skinny thing and then use it for something else. but I can't on Zoom record this because the recording will automatically make the screen the certain shape and readjust everybody. So it's not 3 in a row. So I don't see any way that one can do this unless you got an immersive that had 3 positions and you just pulled 3 of people in there.
Right. Or you start using, again, you get into the eCam world or the vMix world or the Mimo Live world, where you can actually then take each individual input and bring it in. Or as Zoom would like us to do, of course, too, is Production Studio, which is also, Tamara, another caveat for me to throw out there too, by the way.
Yes, there's many things I like about Zoom Production Studio, but the one key thing that I do not like about Zoom Production Studio being a live action girl is you cannot create scenes on the fly. And that is problematic. Because if you didn't create every single thing that you wanted or that you could anticipate, then you're stuck.
Right. So here's how we get around that, Tamara. And John,
9 frame, right?
You want me to do this first? Okay, I'll do it first. So basically, the best thing to do is to over plan. What we mean by that is that you basically put in bigger scenes that you'll never need.
Right.
Right. So an example is it's not a problem to actually put in, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, an eight up as an example. You'll never use more than 4.
Right.
But
I learned that the hard way.
Yes.
And often, and so how it happened for me is that each of them had different backgrounds. I set all the scenes up, and then I got to the production and we were already in it. And they added another person on stage. And I was like, well, now I don't have a 4 up for that or whatever up for that, because that's not what we talked about. So in the live world, you can create things on the fly. And if I was in eCam, I could just build it. If I was in OBS, I could just build it and then bring it in. So that's the downside of it.
Yeah,
But I like listen, Production Studio is great. I tried to use it on another production. The problem is the requirements to run it. All my stage managers have MacBook Airs. Every single one of my very smart people have MacBook Airs. I'm like, please buy. And
that's why they're very smart.
No, because they're stage managers. They don't need it. So now I'm trying to get my people to move over to the dark side.
Yeah. John, anything to add before we go to Lois? When it comes to scenes in Production Studio?
I've forgotten the name of the software now, but actually you can build 3D worlds and put Zoom people into the 3D world.
Unreal Engine.
That's it. That's what I was looking for.
I'm playing around with it. I have some ideas.
And when the fire department is called on Tamara's machines, we know why.
They're not going to be called. I only have the ideas. I have to find the people to play with I have an animator. I have some thoughts, but I know it's available. I keep asking what are use cases? And every time you ask Zoom, who I love them. You say, well, what can it do? And they're like, it can do so many things. If you can think about it, I'm like, I need more specific. So I've been thinking about ways, and then I just go to people and I say, here's my thought. Can it be done? And then they tell me yes or no.
Oh, you can say instead, what can it do? You can say what has been done.
The thing is, I don't think as many things have been done with it as can be done with it. And so there's no real...
Pause the recording on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't ask the Zoom guys what you can do with Zoom. They have the least imagination of anybody because they're stuck in Zoom the whole time and they just don't believe it can do anything else. So never ask them.
I think
they are lovely, but
Tamara, we're good. Lois, you're next.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so Muddy had to leave, but he did pop in. He popped out. He looked at his recording, he popped in, and he says, when I jumped from one breakout room to another with local recording going, I got one seamless recording of both breakout rooms in one recording with no missing frames. So there was no gaps, and it just went and kept going.
Good. Good job, Muddy. Yeah, that's great. That's great input. So that was, again, Muddy and I in when we were doing the breakout rooms earlier in the video. If you missed it, check out our archive. when we're getting there. All right. Yeah, Lois.
Okay, this one is a personal announcement, and that is that on July. No. Come on, where are you? I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
All righty. Lois will be right back after these messages. No, I'm kidding. I had to do it. You know, I can't throw to any ads because we're not doing any ads because we're live. So I had to do it.
I'm back.
There we go.
This is actually, it's an ad, but for something free and fun. I will be one of the presenters on our Davis Genealogy Club's program in July. It is called Class A, Family History for Absolute Beginners. We're going to have an in-person one on Tuesday, the 15th. And then in the evening of Wednesday, the 23rd of July, and this is for Tamara to note, we will be doing the Zoom version, same information, same panelists. Basically, it'll look pretty much the same, but it'll be on Zoom, so we can have anybody from anywhere. And I am asking if there's anyone here who would like to come and be security for that meeting, which means show up a few minutes ahead and then hang out and take care of the waiting room and stuff. 7 p.m. California time.
You got it. It's on my calendar.
Thank you, Tamara.
Drop the link in the chat
Uh,
for the registration.
There's no registration.
Well, however you know where it is and when it is.
Okay.
Why it is. Who's doing it, whatever.
Yeah. I don't have that with me right now. I can do that next week.
I'll reach out when I
next
need it.
week, Fred. Well, if you want, you can put your email. Put
I don't
your
know if
email
I'll be
in
here
there.
if I just watch it on Zoom, but one way or another, I try
Put
to
your,
watch these things.
put
You
your
guys are
email in the chat now. I will send you the information by email.
all right.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, you know, I think that for me, this was one of the most productive sessions we've had in a long time, and lots of fun too. Oops, Mike's gone.
No, I'm here. I was just checking something. Yeah, no, I'm here. Checking to see how we're doing on YouTube. A lot of people watching us still. So definitely if you're in YouTube land and you've got a question for us, of course, let us know in chat and we will do our best to, let me just make sure I've got everything here. There we go. All right. And did it work? It did. Yeah. Don't forget to ask us questions and we'll give hopefully some answers to you and let us know on YouTube.
I'm done. Your turn, John.
Thank you,
All right.
guys. I've done some research for you guys, and I can tell you why we can't make any questions unless we're host. And that is because all of the questions are held on the Zoom central server, and you need to be a host to go in and change those. But interestingly, and now I put myself in trouble again, the API is available, so I could write an app that could do the questions, that could then put it into Zoom and get around the system that way. Or somebody else could. And while we're talking about developers, you would think this is planned, wouldn't you? Don't forget that next week, the 26th of June, from 9:30 to 3:30 Pacific time, we've got the Zoom Developer Summit. And I will find some prize that I can give to the first Zoom Test Kitchen person who can tell me on a timestamp when I'm mentioned, because I understand sometime within those hours, my pretty picture and a quote from me will be mentioned. I've been told, marketing have signed it off, but got to catch it now. But yeah, I'm sure apart from my pretty face, there will be other much more interesting things in the Developer Summit. And if you're not a developer and you never think you're going to be a developer, I still recommend you watch, because although you may get a little bit glazed over at times, honestly, I think you will be gobsmacked by the things that are possible in Zoom. And then you can come back and tell people like me and other developers your shopping list of things you'd like Zoom to do beyond what it can do out the box.
When was this again?
26th, 9:30 to 3:30 Pacific time for those people here. And if Mike can copy it, I'll copy the official invite text. And if you can put it into Zoom, into our YouTubes,
I will
that
do
will
so.
be fantastic. Here it comes.
Yeah, so that is this. So it will happen a day before our next Zoom test kitchen. And as ever, so go ahead, John, keep talking, and I'm doing.
I will be extracting bits out of it all over the place, and I will. Well, I said I was going to give you a summary. That's what I was going to say, but then I thought, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure there's an AI companion in Zoom that can do that sort of thing. So I'm going to see what interesting contents I get out of Zoom AI companion when I ask it to give me a summary of the Developers Summit.
It doesn't let me in.
Yeah, so everybody on YouTube, that link is now in chat, so you should now be able to see that and join us at the Developer Summit. I think it's Developer Summit 2025, John, right? Wrong? Something like that? That's what I ended up putting in chat anyways. Does that sound right?
Yeah, why have I got the link to 2024 coming up?
Yeah, I have the link to 2024 and then it says it's over.
Yeah. As you can see, Zoom works really well, doesn't it?
Okay, hold on. I'll fix it. I'll find it. Okay.
I'm looking to Developer Summit. Is that what it's called? Sure, I'll try that. Oh, here it is. Got it. To event. Try this one. I put it in the chat.
I suppose at this point I'm supposed to say, and last year's was really good too.
It was. That's where I got my mug.
Yeah, we should have a swag session sometime and see how much swag we've got between us from Zoom.
Yeah, Ray Harwood, you always win though. We're just telling you right now, Ray Harwood, you're definitely the winner right now. We got to see who comes in second though. Oh, that's Developer Summit 2024, Tamara, that you sent me.
Very strange because when you go to, if you look up Developer Summit, then it comes up as 2025. And I literally just sent the page that came up.
Oh, I'm so relieved somebody else can make the same mistake I did.
No,
That's so good.
it's
Did
like,
I do it?
It said 2025 and I'm literally logging in and signing up.
Okay, let me double check and make sure
I've just put a link in and I promise you it does say starts in 5 days.
Yeah, I got it.
They look forward to seeing me now.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is actually, there we go. I'm going to actually put
Did I add
what
that
I'm
to my
seeing
calendar?
here. Mine URL seems to be a little longer, so I don't know if that means anything.
Possible. Who knows?
But I'm purposely not logged into that one because I'm not signed in. So that should work for everybody. Test it out on YouTube. Let us know in YouTube chat if that works for you, please.
Cool. Let me
yeah, and this is the one that I have. And again, look at all the funky differences between everybody's.
So bizarre. So crazy.
And for those that eventually get the right link when we sort it out, sorry the world, it is a Zoom events event. So it's running on the Zoom events platform, which means it's not just one session, it's a whole load of sessions. So you don't even have to stay for the whole thing. You can just choose the sessions that you like and watch them. And we're assuming, because that's the way Zoom usually works, we're assuming that once it's all been done, the link and the hub will continue, but they'll all become recordings so you can go and watch it later, because you can't physically watch it all because they run multiple sessions at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, and right now it looks like there's still some of the sessions that are more details to come.
All right, I'm looking.
Is that related to John Drinkwater? Some of those more to come?
I think the Hands Up app was too late to get into the agenda, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't quoted at some point. I like the track 2, the 7:30 track 2. I think that's going to be an interesting one because it's showing how you can use CRM apps with Zoom Phone.
Cool.
So all that
track 2, the 1:30 time for me.
Yes,
Which
sorry.
Which would be the So that would be
yes, because it magically does it in your local time, doesn't it? So the last sessions, the track 2 in the last sessions looks interesting, and I also am a great fan of Elisa as well. That one looks very good. And if you're a corporate, then the real-time enterprise ones are interesting because I think most people have underestimated what you can do between your back-end system and Zoom's back-end system.
All right.
And of course, there's a lot of stuff in customer service that we don't cover because we're not that part of Zoom here in Zoom Test Kitchen. But there's a lot of customer service things that can work really well in Zoom. You're running a customer service desk and you're able to integrate to Zoom Phone and Zoom Video, and you can do screen sharing and collaborations as well. There's a lot of really clever things you can do in Zoom that way at the corporate level, which I'd love to play with, but I don't have a customer to give it to. So it's a shame, but never mind. That's where it goes. We can have fun on stage instead with Tamara.
Crazy.
So how many apps have you sold, Tamara? We just want to know, John.
I have sold no apps. I just have
no, I'm asking if John has sold any. We're asking how much money you spent on John today during the show.
I have spent nothing so far. I just want to hang out with John.
There you go.
She's jolly fortunate that billing's only available in the States, so I can't bill for my apps through Zoom just yet.
So there you go. The wonderful world of John living in the UK still. Will you still? Will you still? All right.
Amazing. Well, I have to hop out, guys, but what a fun day today.
Yeah, playing with backgrounds, playing with breakout rooms. We broke, and we didn't. Did we break anything? I don't know.
We did not
hold
break
on.
anything.
Yeah, hold on. Let's play with our reactions again. Yeah, we're playing with our reactions. Here we go. Yeah. All right. You got to do lots of heart ones all of a sudden, so it does a blow up of a heart. Here we go.
Okay. We're moving to hearts.
There we go. There we go.
That's the fun of the Stream Deck is you can just push all the buttons.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I got to actually, and just for to let everybody know, if you're already in Companion, you can do the same thing. But you would use Companion, and you would use the module called Vicro Listener, and that will actually that module will actually allow you to select the global shortcuts within your Zoom Workplace app.
Okay.
So that will include all the current. I haven't finished the setting up an actual Zoom page equivalency to the Zoom Stream Deck. That looks like a Stream Deck version, but it is doable. Like right now, I've been doing it for months now, where I've been able to turn my camera on and off as I'm speaking here. Right. Everybody will see now that it went. And again, I'm using Vicro Listener, but the Vicro Listener is doing the Alt commands for PC.
I did not know how much I would need to have the raise your hand and all of the little hearts and everything so close to my fingertips. And now I want more. I'm like, but I want the hamburger emoji. But I want. So I didn't even know that I needed that. That was not, I just wanted on and off of my mic and camera, and they gave me this, and now I'm like, but I want more.
Right.
It's sounding like a pattern.
Now, right now, I can vouch that the hamburger one, yes, as well.
How did you get an apple?
Well, okay. So how did John get?
I think I've given you too much already. Surely.
No,
surely.
The thing is, I do know that we can.
3 dots, darling.
Yes. So
The
I
answer
know
to everything's the 3 dots.
I know that. I just don't know how to do it as the other thing. Listen, the fact that we can do
There's the hamburgers. Yeah. It
Yes.
just went up. See?
My favorite is like pants. Like who knew that you needed jeans going up? But I can't do it on my Stream Deck. That's what I want. How do I get it on my Stream Deck, John?
So well, I suppose you've after so many apps, you get one free, don't you? So yeah, we can add that one as well. There we are.
Amazing. Yeah, like that I loved when I found that out when you could do any emoji that you wanted. I was like, this is the Zoom dream. And then they gave me the Stream Deck and they gave me those 5 and I was like, but I want more.
Right. Now to be fair to
have
Zoom,
that working.
All
I
right.
have that working already.
Okay.
Yeah, to
sending
be
you an
fair
email
to
right
Zoom,
yeah,
to be
to
fair
be fair
to
to
Zoom,
Zoom,
their app is magic because they gave some clever code. Don't let you have it. But they gave you some clever code to Stream Deck.
Right.
And Stream Deck then turned it into an app.
Right.
So what's neat about that is you just have a Stream Deck, you download the app into the Stream Deck, and you've immediately got access to those commands.
Right.
When little people like me, developers, come along, we can go further, but we have a more complicated conversation because we have to put an app in the Stream Deck, we have to put an app in Zoom, and then we get the two to talk to each other, and that's how we get to the back door and get more features out.
Okay.
So it's an extra step. It's a little bit more complicated, but it does open up more doors. But obviously, for the great unwashed out there, for a simple thing, guys have got a Stream Deck. Let's give you extra features out of Zoom.
Yeah.
What they put in that is a brilliant way, and it will get people saying,
It is.
like
It is
done.
It's cool.
I want
Like,
more.
because I had fake ones in there before and they weren't ever accurate. I love the fact that the window doesn't have to be on top and it works. I mean, it's great. I'm so thankful. I don't want to sound like I'm not grateful. I am so thankful. Thank you, Zoom and Elgato.
yeah.
But thank
and
you
again,
because you've proved the whole logic behind this. We don't send. He goes on his own volition, does he? But anyhow, Andy Coluccio goes marching around the world, and he keeps saying he goes to a manufacturer, like he went to Elgato. I don't know this, I'm making it up, but I'm pretty sure this is what happened. He went to Elgato and he said, "Did you know that you control Zoom? Did you know I've got this little bit of code that would allow you to put an app control Zoom?" And the guys at Elgato will go, "Wow!" And he's going around all these different hardware manufacturers and he's giving them a little bit of Zoom and saying, "Look, if you do this, you'll work with Zoom. If you do this, you'll be approved by Zoom." So he's making those manufacturers not coincidental that they can work with Zoom, but actually now being part of the empire and part of the ecosystem. And then, of course, what's going to happen is people like you are going to come along and go, "Wow, I didn't know that could work either. But now I've got a shopping list of other things I'd like." And this will just grow the whole ecosystem. So please keep asking for more, because the more we ask for, the more we can get Zoom to develop, or we can get Zoom developers to develop it, or Andy can go out there and cut a deal with somebody and get it developed. It's just a wonderful world.
Yeah, no, I listen, I'm so thankful and I love it. So I'm, and it causes people like me who are, well, if it can do this, then it feels like it's 3 steps away from doing that, and either figuring it out or finding someone who can, like John. Hint.
as she smiled at John when she said that. Okay. So
Other developers are available.
Yes, there is the development community too. Yes, we don't want to say John's the only one. No, he's not. But there is a development community out there. So definitely reach out to your
I know
favorite
my limitations.
developer. That's right. And
I'm
again,
a producer for a reason.
Right. What was I going to say? John, just for my sake, is it the limitation of this Stream Deck to the equivalency of what is a shortcut, or no? At this point for Elgato, is that a fair question or is that not a fair question? Because I noticed that the 5 emojis that Tamara is talking about that we can access through there so happen to also be shortcuts.
Okay, so this is my politically correct answer. based on me, not on what Zoom thinks. I think from the experience that I've seen of Liminal the whole time that they've existed, is that what they are great at doing, and the Liminal team now in Zoom, they're great at doing, is seeing there's a technical opportunity and opening the door a crack to prove it's possible.
Yep.
But they are not going to do the whole gambit, because that just makes their job too complicated. What they are really good at and what they are really effective at is showing that something is possible, getting like version 1 out there, and then throwing it wide to the community to go, okay, now you know it's possible, why don't you do it? And then they can take it to the next level. So my political answer is he could have added more features into it, but I think it would have got too complicated. And I like the fact that it's nice and simple, that it does the main emoji buttons and it builds and the next level of usage.
But it's even a little more complicated too, because it does the main emojis and the skin tone, which is
amazing.
Which is like really amazing, because that says, look, it's not just these emojis, which is what we could do with a shortcut. It is the second step, which is choose which color emoji that you want. When I saw that, I was like, that's really, really like complex enough to give me the basics, but also give me some complexity within those basics that I couldn't do myself. So yeah. I was really impressed.
Chance to turn on and off the camera.
Yeah.
Now I happen to know that you could actually turn on the camera and choose which camera, but again, that would be another step. It's got the simple stuff, that it's got the basics working to show what's possible. You can do a screen share. You can turn on recording. You can, you've got some pretty fundamental options, which, with all due respect to most Zoom users, a lot of them won't even realize half those things were available until recently.
Yeah,
because
totally.
So many users just turn it on, turn their camera on, turn the microphone on, do something, leave, and they don't notice all these new apps and buttons appearing everywhere. They just confuse them, because to them it's just a screen they turn up and talk into.
Yeah, and so many people who use Zoom, I say in air quotes, they're like, oh, I use Zoom all the time. I'm like, do you though?
Really now?
Really now. I always say I'm the most technical layperson in any group. I'm a basic layperson with technical knowledge. And then there's John, who is not a layperson in any group, right? But in most groups, then they don't know how to use half of the things. I'm still dealing with people who are like, just expand your screen a little bit and find the camera.
Yeah, and you could probably never get those people to come and find the emoji buttons in the reactions. But if you gave them a Stream Deck and it's got the buttons pre-programmed into it, and all they need to do is hit them, they'll use them. And you'll have so much more feedback from your audience.
Yeah.
From
the
those
Stream
emojis.
Deck was actually the very first piece of equipment that I bought. And as soon as I got it, I knew I needed a bigger one. I was like, oh, once you understand what's possible, you're like, yeah, I can.
And let's not forget Elgato. This is a win for Elgato as well.
Absolutely.
Because if people buy the Stream Deck to do those simple little emojis in Zoom and they get excited about that, the next thing they say is, well, I use, and then they'll mention some other app they use, and they never use it properly. Maybe they use maybe they use Photoshop, and they never really get into Photoshop because, well, it's just too many buttons. But guess what? There's a Photoshop overlay on the Stream Deck. So you can load that and you get all the basic functions on the buttons. So you don't have to look down the menus, because they're all on the buttons for you. And there are loads and loads of other apps that do the same thing. And I really should name drop all of them now for fairness, but I can't think of a list now.
Well, even like the apps that the average person would use, like PowerPoint and Microsoft, all the Microsoft apps, they have buttons, and it makes it so much easier.
I'm getting worried about Fred now. He's officially waving the white flag. Why'd you wave the white flag, Fred? Tell us. Don't give up on us, Fred.
No, I was just looking at like, oh, look at all these flags they have in here. My finger got twitchy.
Yeah, he's emoji shopping. Okay, all right, very cool.
All right, I really do have to go now, guys. But thank you so much for so much fun today and so much learning.
You're welcome, Tamara. Have a good weekend.
It was a fun deal today. A lot of good
You
stuff.
like that? Yeah, we were doing a lot of different stuff today, and of course, it started with the infamous David thought he was streaming, wasn't streaming, said hi to everybody, said hi to everybody in the Zoom room, but didn't say everybody on YouTube. Then Fred goes, Mike, is Dave late? And I'm going, maybe. And then all of a sudden we're on YouTube, and all of a sudden David started dancing because he was pretending that he was doing the, welcome to the Zoom test kitchen with the, everybody now.
Well, we're gonna get 2 or 3 songs today.
Oh, Freddie, you're pushing your luck now.
I know. I'm trying. I'm trying. I know you said 2. I know you said 2.
I know. All right. We'll see. All right. So I'm going to do a quick little stinger so that everybody notices on YouTube. Again, one more time on YouTube, please. If you have any questions for us, for the remaining people, there's Fred, there's John, there's Tony, there's Roland, and of course me. If you have any questions for us still, of course, let us know in chat and I will let everybody know. But while we wait for questions to come in from YouTube, let's pretend it's the start of the show. Here we go.
Welcome to the Zoom Test Kitchen, where the magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks. We'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag, or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions, we'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we've got your back, no wreck. These lyrics capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way.
All right, I did a slow fade there. We didn't do the end part. Okay, any questions still from the YouTube audience? Let us know in chat. And honest, we're not finishing the show yet. So we're still here. But since we missed that from the beginning, I thought I would just throw that in there for everybody so that you can join. And that was the karaoke version. And I hope everybody was singing on the YouTube verse. So, you know, you can follow along with the words and
I think that's the
enjoy
first
singing.
time I've seen all the words.
Of that version. Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
that
believe it
version.
or not, all the different versions that we have, Fred, are all the same lyrics.
Yeah, I would
Right.
imagine the same lyrics. It's just
Yeah.
a different song.
Just different, just different genres with that the AI generated.
And where's your one, Fred?
Oh.
Yeah, change of venue.
I'm not. I can give you crowd noise. I'm a sports guy.
What, you mean you haven't got your own theme tune?
No.
Oh, you gotta talk to the sports guys so they can get you one of those. Dun, 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 you know. Oh, might have some more. Got another one from John. Here we go.
Digital realm where connections blend. Here comes Lord Zoom, your virtual friend. With a click, he'll show you how to stand tall. Master in meetings, events, he's seen it all. Lord Zoom, champion of the online stage, teaching us to market, turn the digital page. With webinar shining, he lights up the way. Unlock your potential, let him lead the play. From forums to courses, he's breaking the mold. In the Zoom community, his wisdom unfolds. Run the room with flair, let your business thrive. With Lord Zoom guiding, watch your passion come alive. Lord Zoom, champion of the online stage, teaching us to market, turn the digital page. With webinar shining, he lights up the way. Unlock your potential, let him lead the play. From forums to courses, he's breaking the mold. In the Zoom community, his wisdom unfolds. Run the room with flair, let your business thrive. With Lord Zoom guiding, watch your passion come alive. Lord Zoom, champion of the online stage, teaching us to market, turn the digital page. With webinar shining, he lights up the way. Unlock your potential, let him lead the play. From forums to courses, he's breaking the mold. In the Zoom community, his wisdom unfolds. Run the room with flair, let your business thrive. With Lord Zoom guiding, watch your passion come alive.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff, John.
Where'd
So
that
that's
one
John's new. That is John's Lord Zoom
Nice.
theme song, opening song, coming soon to a YouTube channel near you.
Yes, I now gonna have the guts to go and approach some of the blues singers that I know and see if I can get them to record a real version.
Yeah.
But
So he's got the lyrics. He's got the lyrics down. He's got those ready. He's got the bed track for Fred's sake. He's got the bed. Now he's just got to get real. Now he's just got to get a real voice and
yeah, I'm gonna get a human to do one. Gonna have a real
Yeah.
human.
And believe it or not, just for everybody on YouTube, I know you guys enjoyed that too because we turned on the actual CC, the closed captioning, and the song did very well, John. Just in case you wanted to know that, and CC captioning picked up everything on YouTube. Not
That's
only YouTube
always good.
CC, but Zoom's CC as well. Actually, and I'll correct myself, YouTube, because we're sending from Zoom, is not
You
accepting.
might not saw in the captions.
Yeah, the actual closed captioning in the actual YouTube player is not there because Zoom does not send it as a CC channel. And I won't get into too much specifics of that. But again, we're burning them in right now because we're burning them in coming from the meeting through Zoom servers to you guys out there on the YouTube. Okay,
Very cool.
very cool. Tony Mobley, you decided to disappear on us. Any questions, Tony Mobley? If you're still there, or Roland from the room, while I'm waiting for YouTube to give me some questions.
Well, I can give you some Tony Mobley news.
Oh, you can.
I can.
Tell me more. What did Tony tell you that he hasn't told us?
I seen a message from a Tony Mobley asking me to hang out with him.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How did you get so privileged?
I don't know. I don't know. My bank account looks the same as it did yesterday, so I'm not sure. But
excellent. Excellent.
I have seen an invite from a Tony Mobley to go and have a chat.
And is Tony still listening to us? I don't know.
Don't know. I don't know. I'm waiting for him to confirm or deny it was him. But it may be that I may have the honor of being on a Tony Mobley show soon.
I've had such luxury. That is good.
The only catch is,
Excellent.
of course, I'm based in the UK, so it's going to be like 1 a.m. when it's recorded. But never mind. We can stay up late for Tony Mobley.
That's it. Yes, we can. And we did see Hasmuth. I think Hasmuth came in for a little bit, for a few minutes. Hello, Hasmuth. You're not with us now, but I think you, and again, the reason that sparked my brain was John mentioned 1 o'clock in the morning. And I know that it was definitely late for Hasmuth all the time when he joins us all the time. So shout out to Hasmuth.
Actually, I really hope it's Tony Mobley that's asked me, because this person now has asked for a picture. And if it's not Tony Mobley, I really am in trouble now.
Uh-oh. Did he tell you what kind?
It said brief.
A brief picture. Brief.
Or is that briefs?
Oh, not in your briefs, I hope.
No, you see, that's why I'm starting to wonder now.
We don't want to see Lord Zoom in his in his boxers. That's not
no. Zoom, no. Lord Zoom has shorts.
Does he have shorts?
Yeah, Lord Zoom shorts are quite famous.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, they're videos, aren't they? Lord Zoom shorts. That's it. That's right.
Yeah, and you have to make that with Zoom clips, by the way. Don't forget.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
You got to clip with your shorts.
Absolutely. Too funny. So YouTube is enjoying our comedy stint here so far, John. That's what I'm saying. But nobody wants to give me any questions. But that's okay.
Okay. So I don't have
That's
to fire at the piano and start singing my own song yet. That's okay.
No. And see that we've got to do that one of these days.
We will. I'll need to set the cameras up and the microphone up, because yes, I will have to set a microphone up to get the audio in from the piano. But yeah, that would be quite fun.
Yeah. And again, we got to make sure that David's around so he can do the guitar part. I'll find my drum kit. We'll sneak that in here somewhere around. I might even just go on my little electronic kit, so I can add something.
Zoom does have this music function, doesn't it? So you can record music together by killing the latency. So we should demonstrate that sometime.
Uh-oh, you just intrigued somebody that's watching us. Fred, you don't have questions about that? In sync? No, he doesn't want to know about how it's working in sync. He doesn't want to know. All right.
I'd be surprised if it works. I know they've had sound for musicians for a while, but there's a new thing where you can, where you literally can jam live and be able to hear each other in time.
Yes, you can.
I'll have to tell my friend Bob Hockman about that, because they're using.
There is another company that is pretending that it's the only app that does it. How can I put this politely? I think a lot of people, again, we were talking about Zoom features. I think a lot of people don't realize some of the things that Zoom can get up to and just assume they can't. And then these third parties come along and try and claim the space.
Yeah, they're using something. They says you can't play live, but they can see each other and they can play, but then they have to send the clip to each other to actually do it in time on each end to have a
No,
full
yeah, I know there was a few apps that got their start during COVID that you could basically use Zoom as your confidence channel, but it would never be in sync. But you use this third party, and that third party would actually get the latency down to next to nothing. And John just put a picture for us. Yeah, live performance audio. John, can you share that since you've got that there already? And we'll put that up on YouTube for everybody.
So that must be a new feature also with this whole chat thing and everything else.
Yeah, let me where's me thingy? Let me screen capture it with the pop-up so you can see what the pop-up says as well for the YouTube audience.
It's in the audio settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you see there, Fred, it's another, where you have your original, the old version used to be classified as it's still there, original sound from musicians. Now it's another one. So it's a fourth one now. And John will be bringing that up here momentarily for the YouTube so you can see what we're talking about. So yes, this would be kind of interesting to try and see how much the latency actually truly gets down.
Can't do it.
And Fred, I swear you're talking to me. Try again.
Right.
No, it's me.
How about
I
now?
can't.
I see a new one also that says personalized audio isolation right above original sound, and then down below it says live performance audio.
Okay,
So
John, here, what I'll do, John, what I'll do is I'll share that, what you put into chat for everybody. All right, here we go. And you'll see it now. There we go. And I'll just zoom in here a little further. Whoop, there we go. So now everybody should be able to see that nicely. So there it is here. So now, again, regular, the Zoom background noise removal, that one's been there. Personalized audio isolation's been there. Original sound for musicians, of course, has been there. Again, depending on your setup and depending on if you're using at that particular point a proper audio interface as compared to a webcam using USB. That's more.
Go back and click the Zoom background removal. Do you get this next drop-down box?
Zoom background.
Mine is currently checked with Zoom background removal, and then I get another box in between before personal isolation that says background noise suppression level, and then you have a drop-down box that you can go low, medium, and high, whatever. But I don't see it there on yours. You only have 4 choices. I have 5.
Yeah, if you click on the Zoom background removal, that's when the box appears to give you the selection.
That's what I was wondering, yeah. So if it's a pop-up thing. So if I was to go, for myself, if I was to go down there and like to original sound for a second, oh, yeah. No. Now I get 3 different things under original sound. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, let me share it. Let me share it for everybody so they can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the screen we're talking about, guys. This is the Zoom settings. I can't zoom it, unfortunately. I can't make it bigger. So most people are going to have the top one selected, as you've just said, Zoom background for noise removal. And that gives you a chance to change the settings depending on how much noise there is in the room around you. And if you click on one of the others, that second box disappears. So I do personalized audio isolation. I get a Zoom pop-up warning me that what I'm going to do, and I have to agree. And then that will learn my voice, and so it will work on my voice for isolation. Original sound for musicians is the one that everybody knows from before. So that just improves the quality of the sound for the musicians. And there's a different approach to live performance. And if I click on this little box here, you get the warning, of course. This reduces the lag, and you need a really good, reliable, high-speed internet to do that. And if I remember rightly, and come on, YouTube, tell me when I'm wrong, I think it's up to 8 musicians. I know there's a limit, and it's not a horrendously large number. I think it may be up to 8 musicians can go on this mode. It only works for up to 8. And that's how they're able to get the very, very low latency and the ability that you effectively are playing together in simultaneous time with such small millisecond differences that it works.
That's very cool. And then each person can then record their own audio too, right?
Yeah, the other option. No. Yes and no. They can. They could record it locally.
Right. Yeah.
But
Local
the
recording.
individual track recording is now a cloud feature.
If are they just recording their own voice if they record locally, or are they recording?
There is a option in Zoom, and it's moved now. It's now in the cloud. It used to be local. It's now in the cloud. You can set separate audio tracks for every person.
So your ISO then, Fred?
Yeah. So Zoom will give you physically a recording for every single person that speaks. I think it used to be up to 100, up to 50. I think it may be bigger now. So you get, I think you now get the first 100. I've never done it big enough to get the limits, you see.
Yeah, I've used that feature before at BLM where you take the individual ones, but it also gives you the mix, which is basically the webinar or whatever it is that you're doing.
But if you do podcasts or you have this chat like we're doing, where we've accidentally on purpose talked over each other as we're going from one subject to another, if you've got those separate recordings, then you've got the ability to extract somebody, their complete sentence. And if they got talked over at the end because, they paused and everybody thought they stopped, if you've got the separate audio recordings, you've always got the ability to take each one out and make what I do is I take them out and then I just move them across and I just increase the time so that the conversations don't overlap anymore. Which, of course, is acceptable in a normal face-to-face conversation around a room, but it doesn't work so well when you're working online and the sounds are being overwritten from each other. And thank you very much for muting before you coughed, Fred. Otherwise, that'd be a good example of talking over somebody else.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow I picked up a summer cold. It was last couple of days of.
In warm Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, it was only 118 yesterday.
Only. Enough to fry an egg. Attaboy. Attaboy. Don't make too many omelets.
And it's not, summer doesn't start till tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't remind us up here in Canada. Forest fires are so right now. They're happening, but a lot of other things are happening. Very cool. All right. So YouTube has been very quiet, guys. So I don't know what to do.
So we're at the bottom of the hour. Are we done? Is it time to check out like David does right at 2:00?
2 o'clock, which normally is at 5 o'clock. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I keep forgetting that, Fred, you're out in the West Coast. That's true. We're at the 6:30 mark and everybody's being quiet. But yet all of a sudden, as soon as I say that everybody's being quiet, I'm not getting anything in chat, but more people are starting to watch us. So I have no idea. We're definitely entertaining somebody somewhere. So that's really cool. So yes, one more time and the last time. If you have any further questions for us here on the Zoom Test Kitchen, let us know in YouTube chat and I'll relay it to the gang that are here. Again, don't forget Fred's here too. So he's got a lot of audio experience behind his belt. And Fred, correct me if I'm wrong, Olympics comes to my mind as soon as I remember. I remember Fred and I remember Olympics.
Yeah, I was in Stanford one of the times I checked in with you guys. I was in the control rooms and you guys were all like, wow, look at all that stuff.
It was stuff, dude. It was lots of stuff compared to what a lot of our Zoom Test Kitchen community are only used to their studio. That was a studio. So
actually, that was just a control room. That wasn't the studio.
Right. That's right.
Part of many control rooms.
Right, and that was you bringing the backhauls from France.
Beijing. The next one is the one in January, February is Milan.
Right, but you didn't do the Summer Games in France. Did I do that right?
I don't think so. No. I did Beijing and I did Tokyo.
Right. Okay. But those were Winter Games, right?
Those were both Winter Games, correct?
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I was talking about the Summer Games. Was I not talking about? I don't know. It's hard to keep up with all the different Olympic
all the different stuff. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going back for Milan. They've already asked me to come back, so I'll be back in Connecticut January, February, and then, like I was telling somebody earlier, I'm hoping to retire in the LA one. I started in LA in '84, as far as Olympics goes. I started in LA in '84, and I'll finish in what, 28.
Right. Yeah, because the LA one, just got announced at the end of when they were in France. I'm doing France. I'm swear it was France.
It might have been.
But yeah. John, anything else before we wrap up? We talked about the developers.
No, I think we've covered everything. We've done developers. We've got the webinar, the recording in webinars for Zoom webinars to keep the Zoom events team up to date. No, I think we've covered everything really.
Yeah. So John, I've got to ask you, what flavor of your genre was your theme? So I want to be different genre.
I'm still waiting for the blues rock version, but you don't have one of those yet. And I know a very good blues rock guitarist, and I may just have to go and persuade her to record something for me.
Let's see if I can actually.
After all, I've bought 5 tickets to her gigs and only turned up to 1 so far. So.
Yeah. Let me just see here. So when you did the audio only, because I usually do the video file, you did computer audio?
Yeah, I just share computer audio.
Okay. Okay. And then you just played the MP3 version on your local machine.
Yeah. And some people find this doesn't work. And that is because Zoom will only listen to your default. Why can't any of us speak? Me speak today. Your default audio stream. So if you've started mucking around with having multiple audios and outs, if you don't have it playing to your default audio stream, it won't be heard by Zoom. It's that simple.
Right.
Unless you've got 3 different microphone outputs and 2 different microphone, and 6 different speaker outputs like I have on this machine here.
Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just because Fred asked for it, I'm going to play, I think, the one that Fred was talking about that was close, that had sort of a Beach Boys-ish theme to it. Believe it or not, they classify as folk. So I'm going.
That's right. I think that's what it was, the folk one.
Was it? All right.
I think it was.
So to wrap it up this week, here's the folk version of the Zoom Test Kitchen theme. Enjoy.
Magic happens live. Every Friday we're on air, testing tech to thrive. From screen share to breakout rooms, we push Zoom to its max. So sit back, relax, and let's see what's in our tech hacks. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. We'll dive into the settings, explore every single tab. Make sure your mic is clear, your camera not a drab. We'll show you how to host like a pro, manage like a king. With Zoom Test Kitchen, you'll be zooming with a zing. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. Whether you're new to Zoom or an expert in disguise, we've got tips and tricks, we'll open up your eyes. From polls to quizzes, we test functionalities. Join us live, see what Zoom does with ease. So if your meetings lag or you can't share your screen, or if your audio echoes like you're stuck in between, we've got solutions We'll show you how it's done. Zoom Test Kitchen, where Zoom fun has begun. Zooming in, we're testing it all. Live on YouTube each week. From audio to video, no feature we won't tweak. We're the Zoom Test Kitchen crew, here to innovate. Join the fun, learn the tech, don't be late. So tune in, don't miss out on this tech fest we lead. Every Friday, Zoom Test Kitchen, where you'll succeed. We'll make your Zoom meeting smooth, keep the tech in check. In the Zoom Test Kitchen, we got your back, no red. Capture the essence of what the Zoom Test Kitchen does, focusing on testing and teaching about Zoom functionalities in a fun, engaging way.